Alright everybody, welcome back. This is week 6 of the NECC. University of South Alabama will now be playing against the University of Southern Mississippi. So how are we thinking this game is going to go in general? Just given a few past games, generally speaking, we've seen USA doing pretty good overall, especially late game. They've managed to push games out into the late and do pretty fine. But overall, what are we thinking is going to happen in this game?
I think it'll go pretty well. Regardless of what goes on, I think it'll be a great match It'll be a great match, which is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, a few things have changed since the last time. A few roster changes. We still have some of the people in the same role. Top lane stays the same. Bot and support are in the same roles. But mid and jungle have changed roles. So I am interested to see how that ends up changing the game as we go into week 6. So, but as well, I want to just see how we're going to see these drafts going on, and also see USA ban Vi for the 100th time, which I perfectly understand.
I'm just quite curious if the enemy team's going to ban Syndra again.
Yeah, it seems like
roles have changed.
Yeah, it seems like every game that's the same few champions getting banned, especially Syndra for some reason. But Vi, I do get the ban from South Alabama. What do you think is the reason, though, that South Alabama has a tendency to ban Vi every game? Do you think South has problems with Vi in general?
I have played Vi. I have played Vi in scrims a lot. Vi is a very good engager with her ult. Her ult is a point-and-click unstoppable, and it can be engager for any team, no matter what it is. Yeah, one thing you have to worry about with Vi is doing it at the right time, and sometimes you just can't take that risk, and you want to ban it down.
Yeah, that does make sense, especially once level 6 comes. She just becomes very deadly. It's just impossible. I mean, it's a guaranteed disable right there, and then she can follow it up. And I don't know about the recent patches in depth, but from what I can see, just playing against Vi myself in a few games, she does a lot of damage, even very early on.
Yes.
So
it's mostly... Go ahead.
Yeah, she's very early on. She's just able, and once she gets 6, even without 6, if it's done right, she could get early on gank. But once she gets 6, you have a guaranteed disable right there, and then she could follow it up with her Q very easily. So I can understand the ban for banning Vi, because you can deal with other champions a little better, but Vi feels just intense to play against sometimes.
Another thing to mention with Vi is she's more prone to gank bot lane because of her armor shred. So if she gets a good gank down in bot, all it takes is for their corresponding ADC just to melt whoever she's focused on because of the armor pen. So they probably don't want to take that risk and would rather just ban Vi and deal with another jungler, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And they've dealt with a lot of the other junglers pretty well. I saw it when they were playing against Katabwa. The opposing jungler played a lot of dive champions, and it wasn't working out for Catawba. It was actually just kind of going wrong. They were getting so close to killing USA's bot lane, but they just couldn't do it, and that made the difference in that game because that ended up getting really fed later on, especially with a Vayne. I think it was a Vayne Zillion, if I remember correctly, but they used a Zillion a lot of times in that game, and actually we saw before they were even in, they were spectating Zillion before. They were actually playing a solo 1v1 with Zillion, and I was just thinking, oh yeah, it looks like they're about to start running Zillion in this game, so we're going to see what happens.
I remember now. That was the very first game. It was Shen, Vayne, Zillion, and I think another person that can save people, Galio, I think.
Yeah.
That was just... Oh, Rise. It was Rise. Yeah, that was a very... I saw that game. It was just one-sided from the start.
Yeah, and the thing is that they just... the opposing team just did not ban Zillion. I fully expected... Me and Derek fully expected them to ban Zillion eventually, and they just didn't do it. Right? And so they just kept getting Zillion over and over again. It's like, I mean, you guys really should ban Zillion. You can't even get a good gank off on them because he just speeds them up or ulties or something like that, and it's just over. And you can't even, and your gank is a complete waste of time.
Though, back to our previous conversation, I wonder if Vi is going to be banned again now that we have a different change in jungle on USA's part.
I'm thinking...
Maybe there's a chance that he can use Vi, but if not, then we'll see what happens.
He might be able to use Vi. We'll actually see how that ends up working out, but I still feel like I think they're going to probably ban him anyways, but we'll see how it works out. Just overall, though, Vi is pretty strong in this meta from what I could tell. Very high damage, good disable, and so it is pretty...
Speaking of other lanes besides jungle, what else do you think will be picked on either side?
I could easily... I don't know if I'd see a Zillion again, but I could see Jinx in bot lane. It's hard to tell. It's not been entirely consistent, and also it's been a few weeks since we've done a stream, so I haven't been studying the games in depth. But from what I can remember, I'm going to expect something... USA's comp does tend to have a lot of combo potential in it. They're usually looking for something pretty explicit, something that, like, for instance, they didn't do this as an example, but by explicit I would mean something like an Orianna into Malphite ulti, right?
Yeah.
Something that's very obviously going to be a combo, but that combos very well, right? And so I could expect them to do something like that. Generally speaking, I don't see them playing dive comps as much. They do play them occasionally, but I've seen less dive comps overall.
Right. One thing I do actually expect as a comp is J4 and Aurelion Sol. I've seen that previously.
Yes.
With USA.
Yes, I do definitely expect... have we seen Aurelion Sol recently?
We have.
Okay.
It's either pick or ban.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, but definitely J4. J4 is a pretty common pick on both sides, actually. I've seen that in the past few games. J4 is pretty consistent. If you want to get good ganks, then J4 is the way to go. But I could see him in this game as well. But I guess we'll have to see how that works out. So far, don't know much about what Southern Mississippi will pick, but we'll have to see how that ends up working out.
Now we talk about the other lanes. Let's talk about bot lane support. What do we expect out of both teams from there?
I expect totally, just from South Alabama, I'm expecting them to try to play safe. Generally, in the past few games, they play a little bit safe early on. They just try to get, I mean, safe with an asterisk. Safe as in, if they can get a kill, they're going to get a kill. But they're not trying anything too aggressive. They're not trying any significant dives unless they're really capable of doing it. But generally, and because of that, actually, sort of implies that they probably will pick something very hard carries. We're thinking Jinx, Vayne, maybe Kai'Sa, Tristana, something that really scales very well, opposed to something that doesn't scale as well. I don't know about Sivir. I don't know if we'd consider Sivir a very high-scaling champion.
So what you're saying is, if you see an Ashe, you will be very surprised.
I would be surprised if we saw an Ashe as bot. Although I really don't think either team's going to go bot Ashe, because in the current meta, the only way to play Ashe is to troll pick her as a support. and there's no other option. You can't pick her as a bot lane because reasons, I guess.
Yep. When it comes to USM, do you know anything about them, how they play, or what comps they go?
So, no, actually, to be honest, I know just about nothing about USM. But we're gonna see in this next game, or in this first game, how they play in general. But I don't really know much about them. I haven't seen any of their games so far. But I guess it'll be the first game that we see for them.
Yep.
And we're still waiting on the draft to start. But for now, and it looks like the draft is starting. So
draft is starting.
Yep.
Let's see how this goes.
So far, it's
the first ban I heavily expect is either Azul. Oh, there it is.
And it's Azul. Yeah. So I definitely
Nami, I'm surprised about, but I guess it makes sense since Brandon does play a lot of Nami.
They might have seen a few of the USA's past games and tried to ban him. Sejuani ban, I've seen that a few times on USA's side, and that makes sense.
Sejuani with Radiant Virtue is really good. Not only that, but you also see other characters going Radiant Virtue just simply because of the AoE healing. So the best thing to ban is a tank who can go Radiant Virtue because they can both sustain and heal the team.
Yeah, exactly. And Sejuani has been a pretty strong pick in this current meta for a while. A Lulu ban, that's self-explanatory. I don't think we need to discuss that. I don't even think we need to discuss that. Banning Lulu makes perfect sense. If you have a Lulu Kog'Maw or Lulu Vayne or something like that, it's just so oppressive to play against when they have 6 items at minute 25 and they're just destroying everyone.
Zyra.
From my perspective,
one surprises me.
I haven't seen that ban a lot, but I totally get it.
Here's the thing about Zyra. She's annoying, but once you actually get up and close, she is basically a glass cannon.
Yeah, that's one of the things that as a League player I've hated the most. When I've played games against Zyra, it is a nightmare. She deals so much damage so quickly that you'd think, oh, well, I have more farm than her. I'm ahead. I should be able to beat her. And then she takes you all the way from 100 to 10% health in like 5 seconds. And you're just like, what do I even do against that? You just have to dodge everything, basically. And if you do that, things are fine. And the Zillion pick, I guess.
Zillion pick.
Guess we were expecting that to a degree. So let's see how USM responds to that. Nunu and Willa.
Nunu.
I'm not sure I've seen South play against a Nunu before.
All right, so real talk. Is this going to be a level 3 instant gank Nunu, or is this going to be like keep head of farm Nunu? That's what I'm curious about.
If I were to just say from past experience from the past few games, I am expecting this to be Nunu ganks level 3.
I see, and then a Scion pick.
Or ganks level 2. Right, I could see
gank level 2.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of early ganks in a lot of these games. I don't know why. Just everyone's like, let's do level 2 gank, level 3 gank, or so just something really early.
Scion pick. That is definitely an interesting one. So we got Nunu and Scion, 2 beefy boys.
And Xayah, that is a very common pick I've seen on Southside, picking Xayah, and it does work pretty well with Zillion, especially because Xayah has the ability with Deadly Plumage to just chase people down nonstop. And
the only way... Ooh, Kindred. That's even better. So both sides now have basically an after-death experience. We have Scion with his passive and then Kindred with their ults.
Yeah, so there is a... Wow, yeah, they have a lot of ways of keeping... This is what I've seen in a lot of USA's games. They're always looking to keep the bot lane alive by any means necessary. Well, not necessarily using teleports to, everybody has to gather in bot every time there's a gank. But they pick champions that are going to make sure that the bot lane survives, right? And especially in the late game, they want to be able to save them from being burst down or dived on. So they always go something like Zillion, Kindred, something that can keep them alive, right? And Nami was one of the other picks as well.
So USM has picked Soraka, so if I had to take a guess, we're going to see like a hyper carry like either Draven or someone who can just go in right away. If it's not that, then probably someone that plays safe like Caitlyn. Soraka can slow, and Caitlyn plays the trap to stop them from running away or going forward, depending on their perspective.
Yeah. Banning Silas and banning Tristana. Huh.
Oh, wow. USA banned Tristana. Actually, no, that makes sense.
You don't want to have to play against Tristana, so...
Yeah.
But Silas got banned. I don't know about that
Lissandra
one.
got banned. Yeah, I don't know about that one. The roles got swapped. Like I predicted, they're gonna ban something that.
I guess I don't know what Silas would even steal from. Well, you could steal
Kaisa ban. That'll
Kaisa
be
ban.
interesting.
Kaisa
Well,
is pretty strong. She's been strong in just about every meta I've
yeah,
seen.
agreed.
I started maining her just because it was so easy to win with her.
Yep.
You get pretty much free kills for playing her. So banning her does make sense.
I just don't even look at Kaisa because I remember her full AP days. That was just a nightmare.
Well, you still can go full AP, but I don't do that as much anymore. Actually, I'll be honest. I went to M7 on Kaisa without ever doing.
Yep. There's the Caitlyn.
And there's Caitlyn. So, yeah, we are seeing what I'm expecting to be kind of evenly matched in terms of harassing in lane, or just poke, except for Xayah kind of having to deal with Caitlyn having longer range. But Zilean could be able to offset that problem because he can harass very well.
Slow him down.
Yeah, exactly. So that. But
if I had to take a guess, they're probably going to counter Caitlyn with some sort of hyper support, like. Oh no, we already have Zilean. Never mind.
Cassante.
Cassante. That's you can pull someone out of Kindred ult to beat him up, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually a really good combo, and this is what I was talking about before. South has this tendency to find champions that are explicitly combo with other champions, not just being like, oh, they work good together. No, these champions specifically have some combo that works very well, and they want to try to pull that combo off.
Now, mid is probably going to pick someone that can... Ooh, Veigar. So...
That's not bad. I can actually, like I said before, I don't know how well that combos with Kindred ult, but if they try, actually that could work very well. Imagine Kindred using ult, Veigar uses Cage, and now they can't get into Kindred's ult, but Kindred can't be killed.
Yeah. And if they try to flash in, Cassante can just ult them out.
Exactly, and so it's a pretty good combo. And Ezreal mid.
Wait. Oh, Ezreal mid. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I was about to, or Caitlyn. I mean, we don't know what meta we're in.
So, judging from this matchup, there's a lot of pros and cons of both sides. For the pros of Kindred ult, Nunu can actually just ult in that and basically can't be stopped unless he gets CC'd. So
right.
if everyone expends, so the only ones that can stun Nunu is Veigar, Cassante, and Zilean, I believe.
Zilean, yeah.
So if Nunu times it correctly and Kindred ults, they can use all their CC, let's say by mistake, unless they save it. And if Nunu knows that, then that's just an easy W once Kindred ult goes out.
Right. Well, I will say as well, once there is a lot of ability for USM to respond to a Kindred ulti and set up for something deadly with Sion, with Nunu, but there is actually a lot of disable on South side. Every champion has that on South side except for Kindred has some form of interrupt, right? Xayah's got a root, Zilean's got the stun, Cassante's got the whatever it is called again, push, I guess, and Veigar has the cage. So
yeah,
so there is a way to interrupt in all cases, but I think that on USM's side they're going to try to just avoid such a trap, probably. I think they have the range to just stay out of that range. Let Sion and Nunu go in, and if they can survive long enough, when the ulti comes back down and it's done, they can then resume the fight and they just destroy.
Yeah.
But on South side, if South pulls it off correctly, a Xayah setup, a Xayah setup would be devastating, right? And so having to deal with like setting up a bunch of feathers, right, would be pretty devastating for them to have to deal with. So, especially if she got enough feathers off all at once, as soon as Kindred's ult's down, she just pulls the feathers and destroys everybody, right?
Yep.
But it depends on whether or not they can get off that combo correctly. And playing against Xayah is not too difficult, in my opinion. I say this as a Xayah main. You really just have to be not between her and her feathers at all points in time.
Yes.
But that can be hard, especially if you go...
With Zilean support, I think that's how they're going to counteract it, because they can give Xayah the speed and basically make sure that she will always be between them and her feathers.
Yeah, exactly. And also, whenever I've seen Xayah picked on USA, they often go Gale Force every single time to help.
For this game, I wouldn't be surprised if Xayah went Kraken Slayer, either that or Kindred, because they are pretty tanky when it comes to jungle and top.
Yeah,
But
I could see a Kraken Slayer in this. They do have some tank, but on the other hand, they also have 3 lightweight champions, and they may be able to deal with some of the tank if Kindred goes with Kraken Slayer. And Kindred Kraken Slayer is
yeah,
pretty common. But they also do have a lot of damage overall. I think, from what I remember, I haven't played Cassante much, but I think he also has
ooh,
max HP damage. Uh,
this is something I didn't think about. If Soraka gets her E down long enough, Kindred can't do anything besides try to attack. So
exactly. Yeah, that is one. There is a
that's
lot.
there's a lot going on between both teams. Soraka basically has a lot of power in her hands if she uses it right. It all
Exact.
depends on how they react to certain fights.
Yeah, they
When it
do have.
comes to US, go ahead. Sorry.
Both teams do have a lot of CC. You have Nunu, you have Sion. Soraka's not a huge amount, but it is CC. Caitlyn can set up traps on any of Sion and Nunu's disables. Ezreal has no disables whatsoever, but
Hmm.
overall they have a decent. And it's kind of interesting. 4 disables on USM's team, 1 champion that can't disable. Same thing with South.
If the matchup looks pretty even, but if you look at USM side, besides Nunu, if you want to count it, they're lacking a little bit of AP.
That is
While
true.
USA has a balance of AD and AP and then a tank.
Yeah, that is true. That is one thing I could see South dealing with the damage on USM side. They could have Cassante, who's going to be tanking, just building nothing but reducing
Armor.
attack, just nothing but armor, and he would be able to deal with most of their damage already. That is unless Nunu decides to go AP, but I don't see that happening realistically.
Me neither.
It's more of a meme build to do. It's not something he would do legitimately, but it could work. I could.
It could happen. You never know.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think this is the one game where I could see a Nunu and Willem going AP and
Because
be
of
like,
Kindred.
yeah, because of Kindred, and mostly as well just because of the fact that there is only one tank on South side, right? And so
Right.
if USM already has one good tank, so Nunu can safely go AP. But he would, of course, every time you go AP on a tank champion like that, like anybody like Malphite,
You're
etc.
risking your life when it comes to going in the jungle. Kindred could easily be going for a stack, and if she catches you, that slow is devastating.
Yeah, exactly. Mounting Dread is so much damage. Even early on, it's just a complete fight changer, and it can
So
work.
if Nunu's probably gonna go tank anyway, just to make sure he doesn't get out jungled or get caught inside either their jungle or Kindred's jungle. Because
Exactly.
Nunu is a good champion to steal camps, but not if the jungler knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly, and that would be really hard for them to deal with. Uh, for USM to deal with if Nunu decided to go AP and it just doesn't work out. If he's going to be much easier to kill, especially with all this burst on USA side. So if he did go AP, that would be he could easily be killed by Veigar, probably just one shot by an ulti if Veigar has enough items. Zaya deals huge damage come mid game and late game. Kindred could burst, and even Zillion at that point would be able to knock off a decent health pool.
Yeah. The thing I know we talked about jungle a lot this stream. I'm actually intrigued on how the junglers are going to deal. If I had to take a guess on USA side, it's probably going to focus more on either mid or top because that's just how I feel. And when it
Yeah,
comes to USM side, Nunu is probably going to go bot because of his speed, and it's
right.
just easier to go that way. Veigar, he can cage. When it comes to
Actually,
top lane,
well,
Cassante
yeah.
can use Unstoppable. So if things go according to plan, I'm actually quite intrigued on how how picks are going to go when it comes to the jungle. Are they going to fail? Or are they going to succeed? Let's see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, what I'm guessing will happen, especially with Nunu, he's probably not going to go mid too much just because Veigar's got the cage. It's just pretty easy to protect himself from that. But I don't know if I see Kindred going mid too often just because of Ezreal is able to just blink out. She doesn't have a hard disable, right? She could, in the right circumstance, take down the Ezreal. I mean, with Veigar, if Veigar gets the right cage and Ezreal has already used his blink or whatever it's called, then they could just trap him down and kill him pretty easily. And if he uses blink at the wrong time and Kindred happens to be there, she's going to use Mounting Dread on him, and it's going to be just death for him at that point, unless he has flash up, of course. All right. So what are we thinking about? I guess what I also try to talk about is What do we think about what's going to happen bot lane? I mean, besides
Bot lane. Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to bot lane, the Soraka and Caitlyn's a really good combo, but one misstep and they can easily get cornered.
Yeah.
It's more of a risky build because they're basically playing like their artillery. Caitlyn's in the back while Soraka's making sure that Caitlyn's healthy and using Qs so she can do enhanced healing. So it really all depends on the Soraka. Caitlyn's job is easy, but when it comes to the Soraka, if she misses a Q or an E, things can get out of hand really quickly.
Yeah, and Xayah with the speed up as well is going to be able to run at them really fast. And Xayah, once she gets level 3, becomes really deadly.
So when it comes to the matchup, Xayah Zilean versus Soraka and Caitlyn, I think it's mostly going to be a stalemate. That is if everyone hits their stuff and Caitlyn and Soraka can keep their distance.
Yeah, if Zilean manages to land any stun combo on either Caitlyn or Soraka, it's probably just going to be death at that point, especially post level 3, because Xayah can follow up on that very easily with a root combo, and that's just going to make it very... that's something they really have to deal with. I think the dominant lane is definitely on USA side in that case. USM's going to have to play safer in this lane in general, and that's kind of obvious. I guess they're really looking to scale a little bit more because of Caitlyn. But Soraka's generally the kind of pick you pick when you're just not saying, I don't want to get super aggressive right away. You might go for kills if you can, but Soraka's just trying to say, let's just keep them alive. Right.
Don't underestimate Soraka. She can be aggressive if she wants to be. It just all depends on how she plays her abilities. The Q can be used for poke, and if they do manage to get a stun, Soraka can save her E to disengage, because Xayah needs her abilities in order to pull back her feathers.
Exactly. And that is one thing, though, but I don't see her being aggressive in this lineup. I just feel like Zilean and Xayah are going to be just too dangerous for them to deal with, so they're going to have to just play safe to a degree on USM side, because
if they do, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if they try to get too aggressive, I think South can easily turn on them at that point.
Right. So when it comes to the bot lanes, it really just depends if Nunu's able to gank and or the USA's jungler is able to gank. But yeah, it is favored on USA's side, but it can easily be changed with one gank or two.
Yeah, exactly. One single gank could just change the fight immediately. Although Nunu, if Nunu ganks bottom, I think if he lands his snowball early enough without them suspecting it, then they'll get the kills. But if he doesn't, I think just with the speed up from Zilean, they're just going to get out, right?
Right.
But, I mean, then again, if the snowball does hit even a little bit farther back towards USA's tower, they could follow up with a Caitlyn rooting them, right? And at that point, then the circumstances changed a lot, because Caitlyn with a root like that is going to deal huge damage, and then Nunu's going to root immediately afterwards, and that could be death pre-level 6.
Right.
Alright, we're almost in the game. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm just going to speak about the other matchups. When it comes to Veigar and Ezreal, I'd say it's a stalemate. It's going to be a stacking game for Veigar, and just make sure you don't get trapped by the cage for Ezreal, which is not very hard at all. When it comes to top lane, I doubt anything's going to happen. It's just going to be Sion scaling and Cassante just making sure he doesn't scale too much.
Yeah, that's what I would also say as well. Just if you don't want Sion to scale too much late game, this is going to be very problematic for South. I mean, South does. Here's what I would say in this game, Xayah really does want to go. Xayah really does want to go with probably Kraken Slayer, just because of the Sion. Right, late game he's going to be too deadly to deal with. Right, so it looks like we've had a little connection issue.
I see that.
Not sure what happened. We'll see if this works again. But yes, so late game, I think that. But you see that it all depends, right? Gale Force is very good. I've seen South going Gale Force very often, so I can't say that. I really can't confidently say that Xayah will even likely go Kraken Slayer, but I would say I'd recommend it, especially. Oh. Actually, we are seeing one thing here. This usually happens once a game.
I see.
But what I do see is something... I do see what you just saw there was that Nunu is actually going Dark Harvest. It looks like this is.
Oh my God, he actually is going AP.
Yeah, It looks like he's going AP for real. So.
Oh, this will be an interesting match now. Ooh.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. I really want to see how this is.
He is taking the risk. I have to respect that. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, that might. All right, and we are in.
We are in. So, based on runes, yep, Nunu is going Dark Harvest. He is either going a very risky tank build or the fabled AP Nunu jungle.
Yeah, I could see. Let me put the scoreboard up. So,
Objective time. You already got it. Never mind.
Yep. Alright, so it looks like this happens at least every single game, to be honest. 5 players go into near one of the red or blue. It's every single game. South not as often, though. It's always the enemy team for some reason.
It's always the enemy team.
Are you not intrigued? Oh, and it looks like they've been caught out. Might have to...
Here comes... Yep. He gets away, thankfully.
He might.
Unless Ezreal's able to do a flash Q over Veigar, but I doubt it. No, he gets out alive barely because of Veigar's grasp.
So Kendra's going to have to back pretty quick.
Yep, that was definitely a face check that did not go well, at least to say.
Yeah, that definitely did not go in South's favor there. But it looks like Kindred will be fine to make it back. And USM might be overextending their welcome here. He's now getting pretty far down.
Veigar's getting stacks while Zillion got some quest for his Spelties. Wait, that's Relic Shield.
It is a Relic Shield.
Zillion went Relic Shield. Huh.
That is interesting. I suppose Brandon probably knows what he's doing with that, but I guess that might be because they're hoping that to get some help with the CS just to make sure that Zaya is able to CS very well.
Maybe not to waste too much mana for the laning phase. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that might be the idea. Both teams might be playing safe here. It looks like Veigar's winning the lane so far.
I'd also like to point out that Ezreal started a cull, so he's planning on just getting money for the late round and not actually... He could still engage, but just by that item choice, he just wants to get more money on the long run.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting as well. He's not looking to play too aggressively, and honestly, I don't think he could either way against a Veigar. Veigar's definitely got the advantage here, especially after hitting Q early on. But we'll see how that ends up for Ezreal.
Oh, there's one thing I wanted to mention. If you hold Control-Zip-Z, you can zoom out the camera a little bit more. That might be helpful when it comes to casting.
Might have my keybinds differently.
And you scroll while doing it, sorry.
It's not working.
Try it again, I think it's a toggle. Then you scroll out. It's okay, it don't matter.
Well, it should work fine, yeah, but yeah, I guess that is something to figure out later.
We'll have it for game 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Sion, as per usual, is stacking his HP by every minion that dies, and then Cassante is just trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yes, Sion. This is not surprising for anyone. Sion is a very annoying champ.
Yeah, a light like Locust is doing pretty good so far in that lane, but he has pushed it into his tower.
Right.
There was a gank recently against the Veigar, but it didn't look like it ended up working out.
It did not. Surprisingly. Veigar is slow, but he managed to get away, so...
Yeah, and it still has both his summoner spells.
Yeah. Honestly, if I saw Nunu going Mach 10 in the mid lane as me as a Veigar, I'd probably cage, and if he somehow gets past, I'm just gonna flash. That's a Dark Harvest Nunu. That is scary.
Yeah. He's getting pretty good harassed from Zillion.
Yes, Zillion is very well known for that.
Yeah.
I feel like his Q range should be nerfed, but that's just what I think.
It is pretty annoying to deal with. It looks like Nunu and Ezreal both in the bot lane. It looks like they might just be invading to steal some farm, or I guess not.
Guess not.
Nunu is coming bot.
Soraka is poking a lot, as I thought. So they're just trying to chip off the HP so they can't actually engage at all.
Yeah.
And with Soraka having heals, it's not really hurting them since it's a one-way healing station for them.
Yeah. So it looks like USA's bot lane is getting kind of shoved in almost non-stop, but
Yeah,
it has put Xayah behind in CS.
very much so.
I guess that contradicts what I thought would happen. I assumed they would probably dominate a little bit more, but I guess with all the harass from USM,
they can't engage at all when they're low.
Exactly, yeah.
Caitlyn's known to have a lot of range too, so that also helps with Soraka poking.
Locust gets caught under a little bit.
Yep. But so does Sion, so it balances out.
Yep. Still getting pushed in.
One thing I know Ezreal goes Conqueror a lot, but when it comes to... Is there any reason why Ezreal doesn't go PTA at all? Is it just because of his Q, or...?
I suppose that's most of the reason. I don't remember if PTA... I'm pretty sure PTA requires you to attack with basic attacks.
Oh, that would do it then.
Yeah. But
I feel like it'd be really... Go ahead.
But I think that it's because there are just better routes for him to go. Flash is going to have to come out. Ezreal has ulti, and it does land on him.
Just barely. That's first blood going to USM.
Now he is trapped under tower. This might be dangerous for him.
It is very dangerous, and Caitlyn's on the other side. And our camera is failing to realize that bot lane is more important. Alright, there goes Soraka. Ezreal might... Nope, Soraka got the Q off, so she's able to heal without repercussions. That was good on USM's part.
And they are now 1.7k lead.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, he's going in, but then he gets 2 tower shots. Oh, here he comes. There goes the Sion. But Cassante was able to counter that very easily.
Oh!
And there he goes. He overextended, trying to finishing off the Sion.
Yeah, the ulti was probably not the best choice there, just because he wasn't able to actually follow up. He's still getting hit by the tower there.
What he probably thought is he didn't have a lot of mana, so he thought he could finish him off. But Sion already got so many health stacks, so he misunderstood the situation.
Yeah. That is
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. It does look like they are almost 2k behind now because of this. So and they are down in Inferno Drake.
Cassante is ahead on CS, so that kill won't make them too far ahead on top side. It'll just balance things out. But when it comes to bot lane, that is a massive loss.
Yeah, and they'd already been kind of losing the lane in general, so that's going to be a lot harsher on them.
Yes, it will be. The Nunu hasn't done much at all. Do we know how many stacks he has? If he's gotten any at all?
Let's see. I don't know if we can tell from here.
You can left click him.
So we can see how many stacks he has. And he so far hasn't gotten any stacks.
He has not gotten any.
I'm not sure about this AP Nunu.
Yeah, if he's not ganking yet, he shouldn't have gone Dark Harvest. He should have went like a safe pick like Predator or something.
He does.
Well, speak of the devil, he did gank.
He did end up ganking there.
But it was when they were pushed in. He
Yeah.
probably could have gone for somewhere like... Actually, there's no, that was his best choice.
That was about his best choice there, yeah.
Soraka is spamming Q like there's no tomorrow. But she's also spamming E, so if they figure out how she uses her abilities, they might be able to engage when she wastes that E for no reason.
Yeah, well, that is if, with having ulti on Xayah, that is mean there is potential, but they have a massive wave to deal with here.
Yes.
It does take a tower hit.
When it comes...
Fight starts.
Nunu's coming down. Oh, Nunu's coming down bot. Uh-oh.
Nunu's
Is
going
this gonna be a
bot.
tower dive?
But let's see what is happening in this top lane.
Yeah.
All out comes out.
Ult.
Both ultis out. We'll see if they can finish him
Here
off.
comes Kindred.
And it looks
And there
like
we go.
Looks like the kill is gonna come down.
Kindred slows him so he can't reach the Cassante. Oh, this is a tower dive, and Nunu is about to get chunked on the tower. There's one, and there's two. But Nunu got the double kill, so it works out for them as well.
And Ezreal tries to go top, but ends up dying for it.
That was very good on Kindred. Her distancing was perfect.
Perfect distancing, and it has helped South tremendously. Well, to a degree, and the goal deficit has stayed relatively the same, and they did just lose bot tower, but that is helping Kindred come back. Well, Kindred's now got, what I believe, is now no marks, actually. She didn't mark the Scion in time.
That's unfortunate, but
yeah.
If only we had multiple cameras, because there was a lot that gone on in that one segment.
Yeah, there was a lot all at once. Just a gank bot from Nunu and all-out fight. It just kind of seems weird. All of a sudden, Cassante and Scion just decided... Cassante and Scion just suddenly decided, yeah, you know what? Let's just duke it out. Let's just start a fight right now.
Nunu's tower dive, though, is very risky, though, but it managed to work out.
Yeah.
Sort of. It depends on this perspective. Yes, Nunu got 2 kills, but at the same time, it gave Xayah a kill, bringing them somewhat back into the game.
Yeah. And wow, everything's changed. Scion is now going bot. And
Soraka is by herself with... Oh, no, they lane swapped.
They did a complete lane swap there.
That's not really good for Cassante, because Caitlyn and Soraka can easily outdistance them. Here comes the Nunu. They might be trying something here. Caitlyn has ult, if I'm not mistaken, so they can easily pick Cassante up if they're not careful.
It looks like he's going for the fight because he has the Zillion on his side.
There's Xayah. Soraka's by herself, but Ezreal comes in to save her. Veigar's here as well. Ezreal goes for the flash. Zillion ult clocks off.
Zillion ulti does keep him alive.
Cassante keeps going in.
Ezreal comes out but misses.
Himself. Nunu comes in, low HP.
Everybody is here.
In time.
He has got the ult.
There's the Nunu ult. Oh!
Nunu ult comes out and saves himself.
Ezreal gets picked off by Kindred. Soraka's by herself, running for her life.
Wow, that was a massive fight, but Scion just stayed bot and is pushing all the way into the second tier tower.
Yeah.
So
well, that's they. USM got a man down, but Scion is heavily pushing bot with no one to stop him until the Cassante 5 seconds in.
Yeah, Cassante's now responding, and it looks like USA has responded to the lane swap by also doing the same lane swap, because they want the Cassante to still be playing against this Scion just to keep ahead, but also I don't think Xayah could play very well against a Scion. Or Nunu
That's
is being...
interesting. Oh, there's Scion.
There's Scion.
Man, they were ready. They were ready for that.
Wow.
The fact that Kindred got away was very lucky. She had to expel Flash, but I think that's worth it for Kindred being 2-0.
I mean, yeah, it's very worth it because you got 2 people to respond to it as well.
That's 2 ults for a Flash. So,
yeah.
And Drag is now up. So if they are going to go for no, they're not going to go for it. But if they were going to go to counteract this dragon, Nunu ult is down and Scion ult is down. Their main engage is gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just looking at this. It looks like there's a Nunu is going to come in, but this is what we were talking about before. It's kind of hard for Nunu to actually gank a Veigar with the cage.
That can easily change with a Scion ult. So we'll see how it goes. When it comes to if there is another Dragon fight or Baron fight, Veigar is probably going to be the main culprit when it comes to how the things go. Veigar can cage, Kindred can ult, Nunu can counteract Kindred ult, but if Veigar puts his cage down perfectly, Nunu ult is basically gone. Same thing goes for Zillion, you can also do the same thing. Top lane is being pushed out for platings for Cassante, while Zillion is roaming around the place around with Veigar and also Xayah. Xayah is pushing out top, and Ezreal is going to be there to respond to it.
As it looks like the lanes are staying pretty much the same. Ezreal is staying top now, by the looks of it. 3 mid on USM's side.
Kindred are going to take down that ward, hopefully without any problems. Oh, nope. They managed to get there in time. Scion going for a sneaky Q, but unfortunately he... Oh!
And a fight starts.
Immediately!
It goes all out.
Unfortunately, Carter does not know that there's a Nunu coming in that's ready to get some stacks. Caitlyn Will is wasted as well. It was not favorable for USM, but they got the kill anyway, so that's okay.
And Ezreal just barely gets out with a shred of health left. Nearly a kill for Veigar.
That must have been... Did Ezreal level up per chance right there? Because... Or was it just barely? I
guess it was just barely. So far, Veigar doesn't have Sork boots yet, so that might have been part of the reason.
Yeah, he must have predicted having shoes, but...
Yeah.
That was really close, though, so lucky for USM's side, for sure.
Yeah, and they are doing pretty good so far. They actually have a 3K gold deficit over USA right now, and 2 dragons, so we have to kind of wonder how South is going to try to transition this into a game they can win. So far, they did get the mid tower, so towers are currently even right now.
Now, we do have a 3 gold distance, but at the same time, we also have a Kindred or Kraken Slayer, and not only that, but a plated steel caps.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to Nunu and Sion, they have to watch their back a little bit, because Kindred can easily shred them if they engage too early, or in a worst case scenario, too late.
Exactly, yeah. And Kindred is plated steel caps is playing very well against the enemy team's champions, because most of them, besides the Nunu, are all AD. But that is, I guess, one reason why I was wondering.
Nunu.
Yeah, because now you have magic damage that they have to deal with. But as long as Nunu is dealt with, then it should work. Sion ulti coming out bottom to chase Cassante. We'll see what ends up happening there. A fight happens right here. Ezreal ult comes down, but it looks like the fight will be disengaged. The cage comes out, and he lands on him.
Oh, it landed him!
Lands in a full combo.
Nunu.
Full combo on the Nunu takes him out, and a full fight starts in bot lane between Light Locust and the enemy Sion right now. We're going to see how he deals with this. He's not dealing a ton of damage to Sion, but he might be able to.
Sion doesn't have ult, but Cassante still has his ult, so this might actually turn the tides because of the defense conversion.
It looks like
we'll see how it goes.
It looks like Light Locust is... Yeah, that would make sense because in the previous... he might not be able to.
He is getting sandwiched by 3 team members. Oh, there's Cassante ult. But unfortunately, Soraka's there to keep Ezreal alive. And down goes Cassante.
But it looks like they're going to get Rift Herald on south side. 4 there, but they might lose tier 2 for getting this.
They will lose tier 2 if they're not careful. Yeah, no one's there to counter that. They might lose tier 3 if they don't get back in time.
2 of them are backing right now.
They're backing right now, so that's not going to happen. Caitlyn versus Veigar, nothing's going to happen unless Caitlyn somehow gets caught.
Yeah, and she's going to keep her distance the entire time. Because Veigar does now have Sork boots at the moment, so that is going to be really deadly to deal with. Xayah now has Kraken Slayer and Berserker's Greaves.
Very interesting game so far. It is on USM's side, but USA is fighting back pretty well.
They are trailing pretty well, yeah. They're not. The goal deficit isn't getting too big. Light Locust has been kind of targeted a little bit in this game, but so overall they aren't doing bad. And especially having Kindred ahead is very useful because Kindred is a very hard late game champion. So they're going to try to get the 3rd Drake.
Oh, that was very close. If Veigar stepped in any closer, he was gone.
Yeah.
It looks like USM is going to get this dragon, but
we'll
see what happens. Full fight going on. Veigar is gone. Xayah uses ult. Celine probably will use his ult on Cassante. Yep.
The resurrection.
Cassante's going to get res, but I don't think it's going to matter since... Whoa.
Kindred getting kills.
Kindred kills. Kindred just used ult, so she is out of the fight, but she tried to steal drag but failed, but managed to get a kill off of... there was a lot going on, I am sorry.
There's a lot to keep track of. I just kind of was thinking, oh wow, this is a lot to deal with. It looks like Cassante is getting chased.
Cassante is getting chased with Caitlyn using Ghost. Manages to get away because of Cassante E. Or whatever the dash is.
Yeah, well, you know, I always refer to them as Q, E, and W and R's anyways. It looks like Ezreal is going to try to gank. There's no ulti on Zillion.
Ooh, just barely.
Just barely misses.
Able to get out of that. Okay, let's recap. The dragon fight, it looks like USA got 3 kills in the dragon fight. 1 on Sion, 1 on Nunu, and I think 1 on...
Soraka.
Soraka, yes. While on the other side, there was kills on Veigar and Cassante lived because of Zillion ult.
There were only 2 kills as a result on USM side, so they did turn the tides a little bit in this, but they didn't get the Drake, and now that's 3 Drakes to 0. So they really don't want him to get the soul. It's not the most amazing soul to get, but and it can be dealt with, but you certainly don't want to give away a mountain soul like that. And if South could get all the next 4 Drakes, which is a lot to ask, but I've seen it done before, then they could turn this game around. Looks like a 4-man going top on Caitlyn. They are going to try to catch Caitlyn out. Caitlyn might be in trouble. And she's actually going to go... The Veigar is going to go down.
Veigar is down, but so is Caitlyn, which is a massive shutdown to Kindred.
Yeah, and it definitely was worth it for South.
In this fight, you do not, from USM side, you do not want Kindred. Oh, there goes Cassante. Anyways, when it comes to Kindred, you do not want her getting shutdowns or parts, because once she gets fed enough, Nunu is not going to be able to do anything, even if he has ult. Kindred will shred him in an instant.
Yeah,
Nunu by himself going for the gank here, but it looks like he changed his mind because AP Nunu is very vulnerable. There goes Sorelli's blessing on Zillion. Xayah ult coming in. Soraka's just gone. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, they end up getting 2 charges from the Rift Herald, but with this extension that they've made in top lane, it looks like the Sion managed to make a push bottom, which might not be good for them. So far, bottom tower looks like it's doing pretty healthy so far, so they wasn't too bad. It looks like they'll be going for Baron on USM side.
Baron. Oh, they're shredding it really fast. The Caitlyn is on the other side of the Baron pit. That is hilarious.
And she's got the range to do it.
She's got the range to do it. Baron Asher goes to them while Sion's able to get away because of ult. That's what I predicted. Nunu's able to get away just simply because he's fast. Oh! Cassante comes in to stop him. They might actually be able to get a kill on Nunu. Nunu's down.
They do manage to get a kill on Nunu. It looks like the rest of USM is going to be able to get away.
That was actually really smart. I did not expect Cassante to be able to reach that.
Yeah, it is. It's not the longest range on his ulti, actually, so I kind of expected them to be able to get him, but I was thinking, it looks like Nunu's going to be able to get away, but then ulti comes out and he does manage to catch him. So that's 1 Baron buff down, 4 to go.
Sion is when Jack shows, so yes, he didn't go for Heartsteel, he went for Jack shows just to get a little bit more sustain.
Looks like Kindred's gonna just steal. Oh, CS.
Indeed. And Caitlyn uses ult to chunk out. I've seen Caitlyn ult people just to chunk out HP, even though they're full health. Is there any reason to that?
My opinion is no. But at the same time, we could say there was one benefit. Zillion had to back, right? So,
yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think Zillion got hit by it. I think Kindred got hit by it. I think they do that sometimes because they overestimate their damage. Yeah, to prevent backing or just overestimating their damage.
So it looks like, if I had to take a guess, if Zillion was being aimed for, Kindred blocked it for him so he could back.
Yeah, it looked like it on the mini-map that he was blocking. Or she was blocking. Well, I guess this technically is both, since you have Kindred and, the Lamb and the Wolf.
Next drag is coming up. It's Mountain Soul, so if USM gets Mountain Soul, it's going to be really hard to kill Sion.
Exactly.
Sion will be the main engager for the team. When it comes to their comp, I see Sion coming in first. Nunu might be faster, but it'll be better for Sion to go in first because he's got a lot of hits to take.
It looks like they're just giving the Drake and letting Sion split push.
Yeah, that's very smart, but at the same time, you don't want USA racking up dragons that fast because once that happens, Kindred will be harder to kill and everyone will be harder to kill, but...
They're making a push mid with the Baron buff.
But they're able to... Soraka is probably going to be going away. There's the flash. Another flash on Kindred. Soraka uses ult. Caitlyn is trying to save her deering, loving support, but unfortunately she gets caught out trying to do that. Here comes Sion ult. Caitlyn is down by Cassante.
Cassante manages to get him down. It doesn't look like Sion's going to be able to get out of this one. He's going to be taken down by the Veigar. And that's not good for USM. Getting Veigar, he's going right into a death cap next item. But it looks like Ezreal's pushing bottom at the moment, so USA is just getting shoved in nonstop. USM is making
Are they going for inhibitor? I think they're going for inhibitor.
USM is really taking advantage of their
Nunu is down, and some minions are still alive. They're actually going to go for inhibitor if they can.
Yeah, with 2 down, they might be able to do it, but many of them are low. This might be a risk, so it looks like they are just going to back off for now.
They are backing off.
Yeah.
But that caused Ezreal to back because they actually thought they were going to lose the inhibitor.
Yeah.
Or, well, tier 3, if anything.
Yeah, and they want to keep this lead up so they don't get boxed in, but they do lose. But USA does lose bottom tier 3 tower.
Because of that push, they are now only 1,000 gold behind, just about.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good push for USA.
Yeah.
Nunu was the only one to defend against that. Sion was down, Caitlyn was down, Ezreal was pushing bot, Soraka was down as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had the opportunity to push there significantly, and they went from what would look to be like a 3k gold deficit down to around 1.7k. So they have definitely caught up. In late game, these small gold deficits mean much less and less. So they have definitely caught up since the beginning of the game. And from what I can see, I guess should have commented on this. South has the superior late game, from what I believe. They have Kindred. They have Kindred scaling.
Vanguard, Kindred. Zaya's just Zaya with the very quick blade.
Yeah, really Zaya. I mean, as a Zaya main, I say once more. Zaya actually is very, very, very high scaling champion. In late game, she deals massive damage. I would even go so far as to say Zaya is harder late game than Vayne is. I've played against Vayne before as Zaya and been able to beat her late game with 6 items at max level.
Before the game started, I thought the USM side would have more advantage towards artillery positioning, but if you think about it, if Kindred gets enough stacks, they have the advantage towards
range
their
advantage.
range.
Yeah,
range advantage.
Exactly. And Kindred right now is looking at 3 stacks, not too bad for this game, but she could have more stacks.
And well, here we go. Top lane's fighting once again. They're settling their disputes, but it looks like Nunu is coming here to interrupt the dispute.
And he does
Nunu
use that.
goes down. Wow, that was
perfectly timed.
That was the fastest Nunu ult I have ever seen. But it looks like Cassante is going to go down, but Nunu ult is down.
What I will say, Light Locust has died a few times, 5 times to be exact. But whenever I've seen him play, I have made this comment in previous streams before, that he seems to play almost like Baus FS, right? Have you ever heard?
Yes, of course.
It's constantly go for plays that don't seem like they should be good at all, but it doesn't matter if you die. You're just making space, right? And so
you're making a distraction.
Yeah, you're making a constant distraction, and since he's already died a few times, but he has really good CS, right? So either way, it doesn't really matter that he's dying. He still has good items. He's actually matched Sion with items. Actually, it looks like he's more items as a Sion. So
he is.
Yeah, so even despite the fact that he's died a couple times, he made distractions. 3 people came bot to kill him when they could have just brought 2.
They could have prepped for anything else. Dragon is coming up. Baron is up. It looks like USA was going to go for it, but they decided against it.
Looks like they're going to try to...
Dragon is coming up. Everyone's prepping. Ezreal goes down mid to try to channel out the wave.
It looks like he wants to thin out the wave a little bit just to see if they can make a push. But I think his ulti might have missed a lot of the minions.
Yeah, I think it did. Oh, that's interesting.
Huge ulti.
Nunu is down.
Massive combo from
so
Vanguard.
Well made. Cassante ult. If Cassante has ult, he'll be able to push one into the team. If he does it right, here it comes. Cassante ult. He's getting behind, pushing him into the team.
Sion gets caught out, but Cassante's gonna go down.
Cassante went down.
But it looks like huge damage against the Caitlyn.
Zillion ult gets wasted, unfortunately, but
Ezreal ult comes out and deals massive damage.
Their jungler's down though, so USA technically has the advantage towards Dragon, but it can easily be swayed if Kindred gets caught out.
And she isn't at very high health, but they're going to try to quickly just ward them off this and try to get a kill. Sion comes in for a flank.
Sion TP from behind.
This might be bad for South.
Zaya uses ult to try to get Feathers down. Sion is getting destroyed. But Kindred ult goes down. Ezreal goes down. He did not stay in the Kindred ult.
And Kindred goes down as well from the Sion death. And
Sion goes down as well. That is... What is that? 3 for 3?
K'Sante comes in for a flank.
K'Sante, 4 for 3.
4 for 3. This has gone entirely in South's favor, and it looks like Caitlyn might be caught out. She's not going to be able to get out at this point, and she has been shut down, but she does get a kill on Veigar right before she goes.
That is a 5 for 3, I think.
Something
Unless
like that. I was not able to keep count in that fight, to be honest.
I was trying to keep count, but
it looks like
a lot happened.
It looks like it entirely went in South's favor, though, actually. They are now 20 to 16 right now. Still somewhat of a gold deficit, but they have the second Drake. Could they come back on Drakes and get all 4? That would be massive, especially with K'Sante. Having 4 Drakes, that would mean much more armor and magic resistance. That would be much more...
AP Nunu would be nothing if they got all 4 Drakes.
Exactly, yeah, because they're hoping to try... I'm assuming USM wants to try to get this final Drake just so that they can get that buff. And now the AP Nunu will still be viable just because he's going to still have some tankiness on him, even though he's building AP.
But even with the Mountain Soul, did you see how fast he got shredded by Veigar? I don't think it'll matter if he gets Mountain Soul. Veigar can easily catch him out if he's not careful.
I mean, I'm not sure it's actually going to make a difference even if they do get Mountain Soul, but it would for Sion at least. Sion having a Mountain Soul would be very hard to deal with.
When it comes to the next Dragon, what I would do on USM's side is what happened before. They gave up Drake so they could push lanes. So top is looking like top has a tier 2 left, so if they want to play smart, they could push out mid and top and go for the top tower and potentially maybe the inhibitor while they're going for drag.
It looks like Caitlyn's getting caught out, but she is going to survive because of the Soraka, and it looks like Kindred's going to go down. Veigar Cage comes down, hits 2 people out, and then
Nunu's gone again.
Nunu keeps getting completely bursted out.
This
AP and Nunu is not really working for them very well. But it looks like they might be trying to go for Baron on USM's side, and they might just be able to do it.
It's both junglers down, so it's anyone's Baron at this point. Soraka looks like she's about to go down. Oh, Veigar.
Veigar goes down. Soraka is almost dead. It looks like K'Sante might try to...
Here comes K'Sante.
He might be able to...
K'Sante looks like he's going to try to go for Drake. It's going to be very, very close. Oh, so close.
Takes out the Caitlyn.
Takes out Caitlyn. But it looks like Baron buff might mean nothing if everyone's dead. K'Sante is shredding Sion with his ult. Sion goes down.
Sion's down.
K'Sante just 1v3'd that competition, but it looks like he's gonna go down now. Wait a minute. Okay, he goes down.
So 4 for 3 in that fight. They do.
Yeah.
USM does get Baron, but only one person has it, Ezreal. So they're gonna have to play around him. But it looks like USA might just be able to. Nunu doesn't have it. He died in the previous. Just died instantly in that fight.
He died instantly. I didn't know if he respawned in time for Baron. I was curious.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Yeah.
So Ezreal is the only one with Baron. Not the best choice since Ezreal's not good at taking out waves besides his ult.
It would have been better for Sion to have the Baron buff.
For Sion, or Nunu for that matter, because he's fast.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very fast as well, but for Sion to have it, Sion could use that to split push non-stop, and it would be very effective if they are talking about the next Drake. I could see USM, this is what you were saying before, if USM decides to give the Drake, but in response they get an inhibitor or 2, then USA is going to be stuck in their base for the next Drake, so it won't even matter, right?
Sion, yes, correct. Sion looks like he's prepping for Force of Nature, so he looks like he's going to be playing more for fights rather than going for splitting. But it's really interesting. Nunu is building an HP item. He's either going for maybe Cosmic Drive or what's the other item that's AP? Oh, here comes the fight. Nunu ult goes down, but immediately gets shut down by K'Sante ult, but I don't think it matters. K'Sante goes down because of a 4v1.
In a 4v1 fight, but it looks like this might be bad for USA because the Drake is coming up in 20 seconds. If they can't turn this around, Nunu's getting caught out. He's in the cage now. Sion gets caught as well. Ezreal is trying to shoot
Sion.
They are doing... USM is able to keep South off.
While this is going on, mid is getting attacked heavily. That tower might go down. The tower goes down. The inhibitor is exposed.
And they are trying to get
Kindred is way overextended. She doesn't have her ult ready. This could go very wrong.
They don't want to give this Drake.
They do not want to give this Drake at all. But it looks like it is going to go to them. And they're going to have to back off right now, or Nunu is going to be able to get at least one of them.
Sion ult comes out.
Not looking good. Zillion takes the block for Kindred. Zillion is able to get out because he's speeding.
And it looks like they are able to get out, but they lose a tier 3 tower as a result. They are still chasing on USM side.
They're still chasing.
They have the 5v4 advantage in this fight. They are going to try to go for an inhibitor. It looks like they'll get it. No ulti on
Kassante. Try
Kassante.
something. Maybe go for an ult. I'm not sure. But Zillion is getting shredded in the process, and so is Kassante. Everyone is getting shredded.
And it looks
sniped by Ezreal. Zillion goes down, along with Kindred by Caitlyn. This is looking like USM's game. USA had some momentum at first, but it looks like it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, it looks like
the AP Nunu did work after all. And he does a victory W.
All right. Wow. So that was quite a game.
Not what I expected. This was completely contrary to what I expected. I was expecting them to give drag and go for the either mid or top turrets, but it looks like the minions did the job for them. They didn't even need to.
Yeah, it looks like just having it pushed in. And you know what? I think from what I remember, I think Ezreal actually helped push that out in advance, and that gave them the tower for free without them having to do anything. And USA can't respond to that because they have to go try to get the Drake. If they don't get the Drake and just lose it, now USM has the soul. I think South could have done better with trying to capture those Drakes much earlier instead of trying to be put into this sort of emergency must not let them get a single Drake situation. They didn't have much room to move. They had to get every single Drake in order to get soul.
Yes.
And that's
Jungler another thing to note, when it came to USA side, Kindred wasn't getting as much stacks as I initially expected. Kindred had all the power to go for either Sion or hell, maybe even Nunu while in his jungle. But she didn't have as much stacks as I expected when it came to the late game.
Yeah, exactly. And that I think that made the difference to some degree because that Kindred was 6-1 at some point. I'm not sure what she was at the end of the game, but being that far ahead, Kindred could have carried the game, but just not having enough stacks means you don't have the range advantage. You get 75 range right at 4 stacks, right?
As I predicted in the laning phase, Soraka was poking everything out of USA's side, making sure they never engage in the first place. It was completely contrary to our prediction.
Yeah, exactly. I was sort of expecting that USA in the bot lane was going to be just pushing USM out, but they just couldn't do it. They got shoved very early on. Soraka was able to harass very well, and they just ended up kind of stuck under tower, basically. And that's not a position you want to be in. Early on, Xayah was down around 10 CS, and that, I think, to a degree made the difference. I think also in some of these fights, there were some targeting issues, such as, I think that Xayah specifically was spending a little bit too much time targeting the tanks. Probably
Correct.
Should have been really just going all out on the ADCs, such as Ezreal, Caitlyn. Get rid of those champions immediately, and that would have made the difference in a lot of these fights. But those champions stayed alive the entire time because they were trying to kill off the frontliners, but they spent too much time looking at them instead of at the ADCs.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that definitely made
the AP Nunu actually did work, though. That surprises me.
Yeah, it definitely actually worked out pretty well for them. I kind of expected that not to work for them, especially since we saw him probably get burst down like 3 times. Like, just delete. Yeah, just deleted 3 times.
But it looks like they were able to learn from their mistakes and not let Nunu go in first.
Yeah.
Unless I saw it wrong. Sion was the main aggressor in that final fight.
Yeah, he was keeping everyone off.
Both junglers got picked off, but Nunu was able to come back once respawned and just completely take down the Nexus.
Yeah, and it really made the difference in that fight. I think, and especially in that last fight, they were trying to go into a 4v5. They were trying to say, look, we have to keep them from getting this Drake, but at the same time, if they try to, they might just all die. And that, I think, made the difference. If I were them, If I were USA, I would have just bailed on it and said we just have to give them the soul because it can always be worse, right? And worse did
and
happen.
no one, despite for Dragon Soul, yes, it was a great opportunity, but no one defended mid during that, and that cost them basically the entire game. Mid was open, and it caused them to go way in.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, and that's one of the problems I saw. But we'll see how they end up changing this in the future games. But in a lot of these games, I see there's a problem with they want to keep an objective from being taken, but when they try to do that, they're outnumbered or they're just not in a good position to do it, and it just doesn't work out for them. Right? I think USA should have just probably given that Drake or played a lot more careful with making sure everybody's alive at all times. Nobody gets picked off early because that happened against USM as well. USM ended up having Nunu picked off, and USA just got a free Drake basically. And yeah, and so that's really hard to deal with on USA side. They just have to make sure to keep everybody alive for these Drake fights, especially in that position. But like I said before, USA was dealing with the problem of USM being on the brink of getting soul, and they had to get every single Drake, and that's just kind of hard to deal with, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. In this next game,
if next game, I am definitely expecting either a Nunu ban or a maybe an Ezreal ban. Caitlyn didn't really have much presence; she was just there as a normal ADC. When it comes to USM side, definitely a ban on Kindred because if that game gone on long enough, she would have shredded every single one of them. Besides maybe Sion.
Yeah, but Sion, she would have. I think Sion could have gotten shredded to a degree as well, but he would have been able to at least survive for a finite amount of time. But
enough to take a turret.
Enough to take a turret, yeah. But that was really hard for USA to deal with, having to deal with Ezreal getting early ganks on. I was not sure what to expect from an Ezreal mid, but it ended up actually working in USM's favor.
Yes, it did.
So that did make the difference in that game. He played careful early on and just managed to try to get to the late game, and it ended up happening, and that worked in their favor significantly. And let's see, I think we're getting close to the next draft.
Oh, are you going in? Okay.
I assume so, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
It looks like on one of my screens it's saying ready, and on the other one it's saying waiting.
So, yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah,
we're just not told anything. We just have to hope that it starts.
Yeah. Oh, is this the one? All right. Okay, it is starting.
It is starting.
All right.
Yep, drafting phase has started.
Asol getting banned.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. You don't want to have to deal with that late game. That is really, really. I've played against Asol a few times. Same bans.
Nami gets banned against same bans. I'm surprised they banned Nami. Nami's not really that big of a deal. There goes a Zillion ban. I guess they don't want to have that on either side. Lulu ban again.
Lulu ban. It's looking like the same ban.
I know Lulu is a nuisance, but I don't understand the Lulu ban. I haven't seen USA play Lulu at all, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I don't get it that much either. I don't think maybe they banned them in previous games. I don't think they did though. So I'm not sure about the Lulu ban. I feel like maybe they just don't want USA to have that option. USA might actually be thinking about it legitimately, but they're just like, well, USM's gonna ban it, but if they don't, we'll take it, right?
Kazakh's ban, I don't understand either, but hey, they won the first game, so I can't question anything.
Yeah, you don't want I guess they don't want to deal with Kazakh's just because he deals a ton of damage. I feel like he's easy to counter. Just stay near your teammates. Caitlyn being picked on USA side.
Going to Caitlyn. That's
things are
interesting.
It's kind of flipping the script here. Caitlyn on USM side. Skarner. That is quite the pick there. Okay.
All right.
I just recently heard, and no aspersions to our boy Skarner, but that he's apparently the least played and least popular champion in League of Legends. So this is certainly surprising, a pick.
Though, if they're picking Skarner, then they must be fully confident on his abilities. It's
Yeah.
exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, if USA does pick Kindred again, that's probably why they didn't ban Kindred. If they pick Kindred again, Skarner can easily pull one out of the Kindred ult and just shred them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it makes me think USA's probably going to avoid the Kindred pick. They're probably going to look for something that's a little bit more Bruiser-like, something like Kane maybe.
Karma. I expected Karma after what happened last game. The one thing USA was missing was giving everyone speed, but Zillion can only give it to at most 2 people.
Yeah.
So Karma is a good pick, not only for that, but also for a group shield. Yes, they miss out on Zelina, but at the same time, Karma can shield a lot if she plays her R into perspective.
Yeah, and Silas pick, that's actually pretty good. Skarner versus Skarner and Sion. I mean, it means now that if they're going to have a pool, we're going to have a pool.
Yes, indeed.
We'll see what USM's going to pick from here.
Silas is actually a good pick because it doesn't matter what they pick. Silas can use it. That's basically how Silas is used in any game.
Well, in a way, but there are some things that Silas can't really use. For instance, Kai'Sa's ult is not very useful.
Not useful at all.
Yeah, it's not really useful on Silas at all. I mean, I guess
they're banning the Kindred. That completely goes against what I was thinking.
I don't feel like they needed to, though. Right?
No, they didn't.
They didn't need to ban Kindred. I don't think USA is going to pick Kindred into this with a Skarner. I mean, it means that if they want to save somebody...
just be safe, I suppose, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they did have Kindred did have the most kills, banning Kassadin.
I would argue with it, but at the same time, Kassadin is pretty strong right now. Bel'Veth, I have not seen Bel'Veth in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't. I wonder if we've seen any Bel'Veth in any of USA's games.
Maybe.
Maybe one. Not that I can remember though.
No, I wasn't casting, so I don't know either.
So yeah, we'll see.
Final ban is probably going to be something like... Ooh. No, they are not. No way!
Banning
this
Syndra.
time it's USA banning Syndra.
It's usually everybody else that bans Syndra. Now it's USA's turn.
Everything. Where's the script? Do we have new script?
It looks like they did. They took somebody else's another team's script and said we're gonna ban the champions they ban.
No, we're gonna completely mesmerize them. We are the ones who banned Syndra, and it looks like that is why they banned Zyra, because it looks like their support does indeed main Zyra.
Yeah, it looks like as soon as the Zyra ban doesn't come out, then it looks like we're just gonna go Zyra then.
That's really bad, though. That's a really good synergy with Skarner. If they really wanted to, they could prep... Like, for example, let's say there's a dragon fight. If they have red side, Zyra can prepare plants, and if USA goes in, Skarner can ult in and basically put him into a plants versus zombies situation.
A plants versus zombies. Yeah, basically, at that point, Skarner, any real disable, but especially Skarner, could just pull you. You're going to come right to our plants and say hi. And Zyra late game can deal a ton of damage. The Hecarim is coming out, and Gwen. I can see that working actually.
Gwen can actually be useful. I guess to counteract both Kai'Sa and Zyra. If they're not in the field, then they won't do any damage. I'm not sure if that applies to the Zyra plants though. I'd have to try that myself.
I don't think it does. Her Q might. Her Q might be able to just instantly take out the plants, but I'm not sure. It might not. Pantheon, that is going to be oppressive to deal with.
Wait, Pantheon? Really? Huh.
I can see that. Yeah, I see the idea here, though. You get a Pantheon stunning, and then...
That's Pantheon mid against Silas. Are you sure you want to go? All right.
We'll
see how it goes.
It could work for him, actually. I mean, he does have the shield, and if Silas...
Yeah, but at the same time, Silas can easily steal Pantheon ult. So it's basically just both mids going anywhere if Pantheon is the aggressor.
Yeah, exactly. But, at that point, Silas could simply steal Pantheon's ulti and just go anywhere at that point.
Exactly.
But you have Hecarim roaming around... A lot. That's probably going to be a serious problem for USM.
This will be very interesting. Scion and Pantheon both have roaming ults, and they can easily go to correspond to, let's say, mid or dragon. But at the same time, if Silas has the prep time needed, he can also do the same thing with Scion or Pantheon.
Yeah, there's a lot of response on both teams. Either team can do a quick response, especially for Hecarim. Probably not as quickly as Pantheon, but because of Pantheon's ulti. But Hecarim is definitely. It looks like a lot of dive on both teams. You have Skarner, Scion, and Pantheon, and then you have Gwen, Hecarim, Silas. So it looks like this is really just about to be an all-out brawl between both teams.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Now, I'm quite curious what Pantheon's going to go. Is he going to go PTA or is he going to go Conqueror? If they want to go PTA, they're really hyper-focusing on one person. Skarner pull, Pantheon PTA, and then Zyra plans. And that's pretty much all she wrote.
I think it's going to be PTA because Conqueror would be more tanky Pantheon, but they already have two tanks.
Two tanks, yeah.
Unless they're really trying to...
Yeah. Lethality Skarner?
Lethality Skarner! Or you just something like full 80 Scion.
No one can hear us, but if they are going to Lethality Skarner, you can only go Battlecast Skarner. That's the only one you can go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually wrong. They can hear us, actually.
Oh. Interesting.
We're in the casters chat right now.
Oh, I'm talking about the actual teams, not the audience.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, hey, guys, you should go,
You should go tell them to go Battlecast Skarner.
Battlecast Skarner, and then go, first item, Prowler's Claw.
They're gonna completely spite us and go the Desert Scorpion one. The splash art does not look good, but that skin actually does look good.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough with Skarner. That is our boy, but we need to talk about other things.
Yeah, and I would say, what about the bot lane? I'm saying Kai'Sa...
Same thing as before. They're both distancing champs, so it's all going to really depend on who gets caught out first.
I feel like Caitlyn, in this case, though, will be able to push them into their tower. Last game showed us that all you needed was a Caitlyn, and you just were able to push him out really early. Kai'Sa does, however, have some wave clear, but I don't think as much as Caitlyn, at least not early on. Right.
With Zyra is something I'm intriguing about. I used to be a Zyra main, and one thing I would do is get up close, use my Q, and make sure the basic the enemy champion. Because how Zyra works, if there's plants around and you basic a champion, the plants will only target who you attack. Like, contrary to, let's say, Heimer. Heimer can't do that ability while Zyra can.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Zyra has the poke advantage, even though Caitlyn has more range. But on the downside, Zyra is a glass cannon. So if she gets caught out, it's going to be really hard to recover. She'll have to either save her E or just make sure she doesn't get caught.
Yeah. And then
when it comes... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, it's what I think about Zyra. I agree. She just has to make sure she stays back. But with Silas and Hecarim, this is going to... If Hecarim could dodge Zyra's roots, Zyra's probably just going to die. Like a glass cannon, basically. And so they could easily end up losing this bot lane just because of Hecarim, but Skarner could also respond pretty quickly. He tends to go pretty fast. I want to see what his runes are. I think Skarner, from what I see Skarner usually building, he usually builds Predator, but I haven't seen him a lot. So I can't say.
Nah.
That might be old meta. That might be really old meta. But I've seen him before. He used to go Predator.
We're talking about a guy who went Dark Harvest Nunu. If he's going to go anything, he's going to go either Phase Rush or he's going to go maybe a tanky build. Maybe Aftershock to slow people down. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I could see that happening, definitely. I probably, but then again, I mean, we totally did not expect a Dark Harvest. I've seen Predator be done before. I could see a Predator on the Skarner right now.
Predator Skarner would be the ideal, but at the same time, if they really want Skarner to pull someone out from the enemy team, he's going to have to go a tanky build. So maybe like either Conqueror or... Well, maybe not Conqueror, but you get my idea. He's going to probably go a tanky build.
Right. I mean, even without something tanky runes, he can still be pretty tanky in general, right? I mean, Skarner...
Agreed.
But Predator, I've seen it on champions like Hecarim, and they're still pretty tanky. I mean, Predator's not very common on Hecarim anymore. Usually, you do that as a meme. You're just doing it because you want to.
Back in the glory days.
Yeah, back in the glory days, you're just going immediately Yumu's, Dead Man's Plate, or Dead Man's whatever it's called. The last word for it, is it Dead Man's Plate? I think it is.
Dead Man's Plate, yeah.
Yeah, Dead Man's Plate.
Which is ironically Gangplank's signature item, but it's never used. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, Gangplank used to be kind of a champion that could go bruiser, but nowadays he's more of a crit champion. I've watched some Solar Baka before, and he's almost always exclusively just damage. Immediately, he'll just go Essence Reaver, Navori Quick Plates. Like
I feel like unintentionally, I feel like Riot was bullied to make Gangplank crit because I've noticed something in the past couple of years. Gangplank has gotten more tension, even though he's not played a lot.
Right.
They have buffed him a lot.
Yeah, he just got nerfed.
Noticing.
Yeah, he's gotten nerfed for the first time this patch, actually. They made it so
it was his passive, correct?
It was his passive, and you can see how many barrels he has now.
That's fair. That is honestly fair, because we're seeing a lot of champions that you can see what they have.
Exactly.
For example, you can see when Jin is on his 4th shot. You can see when I think you can see when Zeri is fully charged on her passive.
I think you can. Yeah. But a lot of champions have these kind of charge-based things that you're usually able to see, right? But you can't see it on somebody like Gangplank until this update, right?
Yeah, that's honestly a fair nerf. It's not really a nerf in terms of his stats. It's just a nerf when it comes to the element of surprise. Cosmic Stinks, Garner. All right, you get away this time.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice skin. I like all the Cosmic skins in general. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And High Noon Hecarim, that is always the best Hecarim skin there is, and I have it as well. I used to main Hecarim.
Well, you don't like Arcane Hecarim?
I don't have
Arcane Hecarim? Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Arcana skins. I play a certain roguelike that I will not mention, and they have a bunch of tarot cards.
Yeah, I love the Arcana skins too. I have every skin except for the Prestige one on Xayah. For the Prestige.
That is Brave Phoenix, my friend.
Yeah, Prestige Brave Phoenix. We are still getting a little bit of a black screen glitch here, so let me try again.
Yep. And if things go according to plan, we will be able to zoom out further. That way people can see more of what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully be able to do that.
It should be a toggle.
Yeah, it might have set one of my keys differently, so I could do a quick look into the keys, but I'd prefer not to have to once we get in.
Yeah, we need to focus more on the game rather than trying to configure it for...
Yeah.
Basically wasting time for configuring it, because once we mess with something, it's not going to direct the camera.
Exactly, yeah.
There's the game. Alright, so it should be one toggle press, and we should be able to zoom out.
And it looks like it is not showing on my screen. Whoa.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that is not that's an interesting glitch to have happen. Apologies for the delay. I'm not sure what's going on exactly.
That's not good at all. Move up move it up a little bit.
30 seconds until
not all the way, that's gonna get in the way. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, but just reset it. We're gonna have some technical difficulties, just...
Apologies,
bear with us for a minute.
It looks like a fight has already started in the background.
It has, but we can't see it.
For some reason, it is not capturing the window.
Move it down again, I guess.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Minions have spawned.
I'm not sure
what's... not good at all.
That doesn't make sense. I'm not sure what's going on exactly. It has suddenly decided to stop showing the screen for some reason.
Move it all the way down again where it originally was. Let's see if that works. If anything, we can just reset the game again.
Yeah, we will do that. Hopefully it'll work.
The game's probably gonna be behind, but we apologize. It's just our thing not working.
Not sure why this happened. It didn't happen.
We'll just what we can do is just rewind it back to 0 and just start from there. That way we can commentate it properly.
Well, I would say that, but then the next game might start, right?
That's also true. I'll leave it up to you since you're the one to control.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not showing. Oh, there we go. There we go.
It was just showing. I went and switched.
There it is. Okay.
I don't understand. Well, I switched to right side and it suddenly works, right?
Yeah, try it again. There we go.
See what I mean?
I see what you mean. There we go. Oh, no.
We're gonna do with no overlay at the moment because we just want you guys to be able to see the game. So.
Okay. All right. So control. So it's a toggle. Control Shift Z, and you should be able to zoom out further. It's just one press and then. Try.
Excuse me.
And then first blood goes to Pantheon.
Let's see if I can change my controls really quickly.
Should be cam shift control, camera control.
It doesn't look. Well, we'll figure that out later.
Toggle camera launch? No, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So we don't have the overlay. While we're able to display the screen, see if you can add some of the overlay into this window since we're having a bit of problems.
Well, I'll just look into this and see
what's going on.
Yeah.
We'll have the game display for now. We'll get everything else done. We just need to see the game. So I'll just be. Oh, that is a pick from bot lane.
So it looks like it is now 2-1.
2-1. I'll be commentating more while we fix this issue. So Gwen is heavily behind on HP compared to Sion. It looks like something happened there while we were configuring things. When it comes to runes, yes, Pantheon did go PTA, so it's exactly what we expected.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was expecting as well. I was expecting them to sort of balance out the number of tanks they have and have the Pantheon be going more damage-oriented. I believe I have figured out the issue.
A gank just happened in mid lane. Barely Pantheon survives. Oh my god, they just went for it. Silas tower dived and got the Pantheon down. And it looks like the Karma is overextended in the enemy jungle. And Skarner looks like he is going to get that kill. 3-2, currently. Try the other one. I think it's the other one.
Okay, so
are you displaying the League client or are you displaying the League game? I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, I made sure to see the difference, and I actually did change it, but it's still not showing. Let me go back down here to game capture.
There, is it working right there? There we go.
So it had to be client?
That is...
But it's still not...
It's still not just... That is weird.
That is incredibly weird.
Well...
So we'll have to just work with what we've got for now. I mean, the overlay doesn't have a huge amount on it.
Well, that's our sponsor, so...
Yeah, they might be a little bit mad about that. They'll have to bear with us.
Apologies, we're trying our best.
Yeah.
Just keep working on that, because we kind of...
Yeah. Looks like the Pantheon is getting caught out, but...
Yes, first Dragon goes to USM again. They've been having a great priority over Dragons. See, can you just transition that and make that work?
Well, this is the right side, and we're trying to do left side.
Ah, I see. Here, look at the right side. Where is game overlay on that one?
It was in...
Right at the bottom, so put it on the bottom. And I'll commentate more. Kills are even. Gold, if I can look at it, it looks like gold is about even as well, so everything balanced out despite all the chaos. And I'm not talking about our streaming problems. Check the display options on game capture on the right side. Let's see what
I have another way of working. I have another way of working with this.
Okay.
What?
Interesting.
Oh.
Check the properties. That should help us.
All right.
Oh, there you go. Put it all the way at the bottom. All the way down. Just all the way down. There we go. We're good. All right. Put everything. We're back on live. We're back live. Okay.
All right.
We're good
Apologies
now.
for these
Apologies.
problems. And it looks Hecarim is gonna wipe out him.
Hecarim ult goes down on Kaisa and now goes down on Zaya. Or Zyra, sorry.
He's gonna get both
Nicely
of them.
done. A double kill, and now USA is on F. Okay, so this should be how it goes if you haven't done it already. Control, Shift, and Z, just press it once, and you should be able to zoom out. Pantheon takes down. There we go. That's more like it.
All right. Yes, that is more like it. Control, Shift, and Z was what it was.
Yeah, and it wasn't holding it. That's on me. Apologies.
Yeah, I thought it was just Control Z, and so I kept clicking that.
That is undo, my friend.
Yeah, now you think about it, I was like, why? Well, guess what? That is undo.
That is way better. That's gonna be way helpful in the future of casting in these games.
I wish I had known this before. Yeah. I knew there was a way to zoom out. We just hadn't figured it out at the time.
You know, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, they have a third client. That's why they're doing it. No, it's literally in Spectate.
Yeah.
Though this was in actual games, Aurelion Sol would probably have a higher advantage alongside Galio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So it looks like...
Okay, so let's recap what has happened. Skarner's 1-0. He got probably a good gank, either that or a jungle. No, it was a jungle invade on the Karma.
Yeah, well, he
Hecarim
responds.
Hecarim was 2-0. He wasted ult to kill both Kaisa and Zyra by himself.
Yeah.
Gwen is 2-0, probably simply because he outscaled Sion late game.
Yeah.
Leeching Leer keeping her sustained while Sion is busy trying to stack up his HP. USA is currently ahead statistic-wise, but it can easily change.
Yeah. Late game, I'm seeing that... Actually, I see that USA has a pretty good late game. Gwen can scale pretty well.
Agreed.
So, but there is scaling on the side of USM just because of Kaisa. Kaisa, Pantheon to a degree. He scales pretty good, but then also Sion scales really good. Skarner's gonna try to go for a gank, but he's just gonna have to D-ward.
Skarner actually did go phase rush, by the way. I was joking.
Oh wow, really? Wait.
Yeah, he went phase rush.
Why didn't he go ghost as well? Just go
Or
full...
aftershock. He could have gone aftershock for what I was thinking, but no.
It seems like every time we joke about what they're gonna do, they actually do it.
This jungler. Where did he come from?
Wow. So it looks like, and it looks like we do have
Here
a
too,
Sion.
it's getting attacked by Rift Herald.
Looks like we do have a Sion one trick because it's 2 games in a row.
2 games in a row. Pantheon is going way overextended to try to get the Caitlyn. Unfortunately, though, is getting sandwiched by the Sion. But then here comes Skarner with the flash. Everything is going on.
Looks like Pantheon is going to throw that out. Silas might be in trouble. He might be able to get out. Just barely.
Oh, he goes for the... Oh,
he goes for the hook, but he doesn't manage to finish him off.
Hecarim comes in to try for cleanup and goes for the full F Skarner instead of the people going on the bot. That is interesting. And he managed... There's the ult going down. Manages to just barely get the Skarner. And maybe even the Kaisa if he's lucky. Double kill goes to Hecarim, but...
And he does manage to get out! Just barely! This Hecarim pick is paying off for South Alabama.
Oh man, that was close.
And Pantheon dives in.
Pantheon going on Caitlyn. Instantly gets him down. That wasting shield to get the passive and takes him down for a double kill. So everything is evened out once again. Unfortunately, though, USA has a gold lead by, I want to say...
1.8K.
around?
1.8K. Yeah, 1.9K now.
They're ahead on gold, but at the same time, USM is ahead on Dragons.
Yeah, USM is ahead of Dragons again. We're going to see if USA can stop them from getting to third and ending up in a situation like last game.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't want that.
I'm not... USM has a better jungler in terms of objectives. I've noticed that. So
yeah.
Let's see if USA can figure that one out and maybe be able to counteract it.
Yeah, and it looks like this is going to be a Chemtech Soul as well.
Chemtech Soul. I could tell because of the visual bug that happened when the Chem Soul appeared. If you notice, if anyone had noticed when Chem Soul first spawned, there's just a ceaseless void in the Dragon Pit.
Really? I haven't looked there before.
It happens for a couple seconds. You'll just see nothing in the Dragon Pit. If anybody looks at the replay, you'll easily see it. But that's been happening lately. And for some reason, Riot does not see that as a game-breaking bug.
Yeah, you just imagine if it were actually a ceaseless void, like you just fall inside and instantly die.
No, it just seems to be visual. Sion goes on for the ult. Gwen starts her ult, and maybe going to be able to shred both Skarner and Sion at the same time.
Going to be able to take them on, both
Sion
of them.
flashes.
Skarner's going to respond.
Skarner ult goes down. Sion tries to counteract with Q, but manages to not get it. This might go. Gwen gets the kill just barely, and then bot lane gets killed as well. Gwen gets shut down. Everything is going on once again. Zyra is, I guess, trying to go for an execute. No, she's just trying to get down.
Yeah.
Oh, it is an execute!
She does manage to get the execute off.
A lot has happened once again. Man, are these guys getting paid because everything is happening at once and we can only look at one thing at a time?
Yeah, it's like directed camera is just like, wait, what do I pay attention to? Because
what do I pay attention to?
Everything happening at once. They're all just like, you guys ready? We're gonna fight right now.
We're gonna fight right now, and you're going to like it.
We're all gonna fight across the entire map all at once.
2 turret shots going on Silas, which causes him to back, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it anyway.
He's probably gonna back it anyway.
Okay, let's look at the items that are going on. Pantheon goes Eclipse, that's not a surprise. Silas goes Rod of Ages, so he's planning on sustaining for fights instead of doing a godlike amount of damage.
He is still going to be able to deal a lot of damage, but yeah, mostly sustained fights, I'm assuming.
Yes. Karma hasn't built her item yet, so it's probably going to be Shurelia's. That's either Shurelia's or maybe Imperial Mandate.
Maybe.
I hope I said that right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think you said that right. So, but yeah, Gwen is having... Light Locust is having an amazing time out.
This is a lethality Hecarim build. So both junglers are going ambitious builds. You only see lethality Hecarim if they really plan on either cleaning up or just doing a hard engage for picks.
Exactly, so, and you know what? That makes sense to a degree. If they could just get rid of the Kai'Sa and the Zyra in fights, it looks like South will be able to just win the fight automatically.
Yeah, Hecarim can if things go wrong, if he gets 3 attacks on someone, he can easily disengage with Phase Rush.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't get caught out by the Pantheon. Or Skarner, for that matter.
Yeah, or the Zyra, or the...
A lot of things are happening in both teams. For example, this pick right here.
Almost a pick, but Kai'Sa has to use ulti to get out. It looks like they're trying to hover around Drake, hopefully to secure it.
Yep, like I said, they're figuring it out. They like to play off objectives, and if they can get rid of their momentum, they just get the Drake for themselves.
Yeah, and it looks like South is responding faster to getting these Drakes, isn't letting them get a third.
Pantheon mispredicted how much he would burst with PTA because Silas is surviving a lot, despite only having 1 item. Zyra ult goes down, Skarner ult goes down. Silas is managing to be able to stay alive just long enough for the team to come in.
The entirety of South comes in.
Goes down.
4
Sion
people.
might go down. Sion goes down. Zyra goes down.
All going down.
All of them go down. And maybe, just maybe, oh, so close.
Wow.
That is a 3-for-1 because of Pantheon.
Yeah, the Hecarim engage there was incredible. Managed to help start that fight massively. 1 for 3.
Silas' stopwatch was basically on life support, just staying alive just long enough so they greed for the pick.
And they're going to be able to get Rift Herald as a result of this fight.
Dragon and Rift Herald. That is very good for USA. 4K difference going to USM. Or, sorry, USA.
Yeah, the USA is really has the lead right now, and if they get 4 Chemtech Drakes, that is going to be massive. Let me try to remember what a single Chemtech Drake does.
A single Chemtech is Tenacity and Healing and Shielding.
Tenacity and Healing and Shielding. That's actually really good for South. They have Gwen with the healing, Silas, even Karma has healing if she goes. Oh, she goes to Aurelia's.
Hecarim also has some healing. His W.
Yeah, so if they manage to get a Chemtech, all 4 Chemtechs, that is going to be devastating.
That is huge for them. Karma's basically going to be unstoppable if they don't go for her, but at the same time, they have a 6-0 Hecarim to go for, a 2-4 Silas. It doesn't matter how many deaths he has. He is a menace with Rod of Ages.
Yeah. So
Gwen as well. Gwen is probably #1 team fighter on their team if Hecarim can't get a good engage.
Yeah, and right now he is 6-0. He actually goes for Black Cleaver to help burst down.
That is smart.
Yeah, to help against those tankier champions. He definitely wants to have that Black Cleaver.
Honestly, I think he's just going Black Cleaver to counter the Pantheon. Pantheon with Berserker Greaves as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get picked off, but unfortunately, Hecarim has the capability of basically shredding everyone's armor with Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
And then here comes Hecarim. We have Gwen coming in, shredding Scion, just with one fully stacked Q.
It's a huge amount of damage to deal with. Gwen is definitely going to be the...
This will be interesting. Pantheon overstaying is welcome. He might ult if all the stuns are gone.
But he's going to probably go down.
He's going to go down. He's not confident enough with that.
Yeah.
He could have gone to wave though. All the CC was gone.
With ulti, yeah, possibly. Let's see. Did he have ulti up? He did have ulti up.
He had ulti up. Rift Herald is going down, maybe going to tier 3 if no one stops. Kaisa is backing, Skarner's going for jungle, and Scion is, well, you know what Scion's doing.
Yeah, Scion is going top.
Scion is going to try to defend this, but I don't think this is going to go well. No, maybe not.
It looks like the Rift Herald is going to go down.
They were really afraid of that one plan, huh?
Yeah, I mean, as well, you still have to deal with Skarner and the Kaisa coming back, and there's only 3 of them, so they don't want to overstay their welcome. And as well, with this deficit in gold, they don't want to give away kills, especially like this.
Like this?
Hecarim is gonna, yeah, like this. But
Zyro like... coming in, but I think Hecarim had, no, he does not have ult, but, oh, there's Pantheon ult.
They are gonna go for him.
Looks like Hecarim might have overstayed his welcome.
And he is,
well, yep, there he goes.
And he
goes to Kaisa. That is not good for USA.
Yeah, but there's still a very large deficit. It has closed by about 1K at this point, I think. Just because of that kill. Not the best decision for them.
Definitely better going for USA compared to the first round, but USM is definitely keeping their ground.
We'll see if they have the ability to turn the game around, but I think that USA still has a lot of potential late game. So I'm not sure if simply trying to drag the game out is going to work for them. If they can get the next 2 Drakes, USM will be in good shape. But if USA contests those Drakes, and right now with their lead, I think they can, then...
Now this is... Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, but as well, Hecarim has the lead, so the jungler, with the jungler being the one with the lead, they should be able to get the next 3 Drakes and get sold. And that's going to make it really hard for USM to come back.
Here's something interesting. Instead of going IE, Kaisa went with Navori Quick Blades. So if she upgrades her E in time, she will be almost untargetable. Yeah, if she plays right.
That is a lot of damage coming out. Yeah, it's actually a really good combo there. I should have been building that more often when I played Kaisa, because with reducing the cooldown of basic abilities on every attack, that combos with her E a lot. That makes it really hard for them to deal with them. USA
I feel like it's only useful if you just want to not get hit, because if you're head, you go IE, no doubt in my mind, because you want to shred them. But when it comes defensively, Flash on Pantheon, when it comes defensively, Nabori is actually a good pick, because E can play off of that very well. And
ulti coming out for Gwen.
Skarner might be going down. For a pick. Got a pick, but
he is going to get
stunned. The wrong way.
Going the wrong way. He looks like Skarner's going to go down. Caitlin's gonna be able to kill the Zyra.
Caitlin's able to survive just barely, but it looks like he flashes inconveniently into Kaisa.
And it looks like they're still going for blood, but it looks like they're just gonna keep them off. They're just gonna keep them off.
I am stuttering too much. There's too much going on.
There's just a lot going on all at once there. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like Kaisa, the three of them are gonna get out. So it wasn't too bad for, well, honestly, if I'm being real, it was pretty bad for USM in there.
It was.
It was a 3-for-1, no, it was a 2-for-1, and they lost Drake, so.
And looks like Hecarim is rebuilding his bounty, which is honestly not a surprise.
Yeah, that is going to be bad for, I mean, that could be bad for USA if Hecarim dies again. He's got to be playing careful here. Looks like they're sort of posturing top on USM's side. Hecarim might be in danger. It looks like he'll probably be safe.
Interesting. It looks like I said, they're USA is actually taking the one ahead and going for Drake first to try to keep him off the Drakes. Because what happened last time, they got 3 Drakes in under 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and it's because they had a hard time pressuring against it. But now they're doing the opposite. Yes, they got the first 2 Drakes, but in this case, it's at, I don't know if they're profits or not, but it's really good that they actually gave those 2 Drakes. Chemtech is huge for almost every single one of their members.
Yeah, now they're going to get 4 Chemtech Drakes if they can manage to get the next 2 Drakes. And with right now, I think they have the advantage. A fight's going on bottom. Silas is just going to back off. Pantheon looks like he's in the winning position there. Looks like Caitlin's gonna get caught out. She might go down and she's gonna get bursted really quickly. And they're gonna push middle. They're gonna push mid lane, and they'll likely get the tower as the result. Pantheon's making his way through the jungle. He might try to go for, well, he might not go for much at all. But South is still very much in good standing with a 4.7k gold deficit. Looks like Pantheon might get caught out. He's the only one that's catching him. But now, Karma's going to catch him as well, and Pantheon is going to go down. That's not good. Kaisa gets caught out. So does the Silas. He might go down, and he is going to die. The ultimate comes from Hecarim. He's going to catch 3 of them, and it looks like another one's going to go. Zyra goes down, and looks like the Skarner's also going to go down. Quadra kill has come out. He might be able to get the Penta, and he does get the Penta kill. Incredible. Hecarim is now way in the lead at this point. Holy crap, and it looks like they're also going to be getting the Baron.
That is finally a Baron going to USA.
Yes,
completely
unbelievable.
Pentakill.
Pentakill for Hecarim.
Hecarim pentakill. That is amazing.
Wow. That is going to be really hard to...
I wasn't. I honestly caught myself not speaking because there was a lot going on.
Oh wow! Just a Hecarim pentakill.
It's the first pentakill coming into USA, right?
In this
like
series,
season.
Yeah, I think in the season that's the first pentakill.
That is amazing.
Wow!
What a great game to have it too, as well. Hecarim is way ahead. Nah.
It looks like a 10k gold deficit as a result of that one kill. Wow. I did not think we would see that happen, but with his lead, he now has the Spear of Shojin. He's got 4 items. This is going to be very oppressive. Only one champion on USM's side has 3 items.
Agreed. This is going to be very, very interesting. I know we're rooting for USA's side, but I'm actually quite curious on how USM is going to get past that. Hecarim is getting picked off, but Hecarim is going to get... I'm sorry, Pantheon's going to get picked off, but he does nothing to the pentakill godlike Hecarim. He is way too far ahead. Garner looks like he's going to go for something, but Thionol, a lot of things are going down. 2 teleports coming in with USA.
Silas uses ult and shreds the Zyra. It doesn't even
Holy.
matter. They're all gone.
A huge lead. USA is still just pushing their lead non-stop in these fights. And Hecarim is just going to continue the chase. He's going to dive towers, and he can do it.
Win. Why not?
Well, he might actually, this might be dangerous, but it's going to work out.
Juicy fruit. He's got the juicy fruit.
And he's going to get another kill. And they are going to try to end this game by the looks of it.
That is huge. Hecarim goes down, but at what cost? You need to defend your turrets.
Yeah, it looks like they are just going to lose this game as a result.
What a game!
Wow!
We've seen an even game the first time, and in a second game we get a pentakill, and once that happens, it's just over.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, at that point, a pentakill for Hecarim especially is super oppressive to deal with.
He's the main engage, so yeah, it's over from there.
Yeah, just imagining, wow. I don't even know how to recap that last game. I mean, that was wild. It started off
very wild.
It started off relatively even, a small lead for USA in about 2 fights. USA is now at a 10k gold deficit and just pretty much able to end the game at that point.
Forget the Chem Drake. We have a pentakill. Let's just end.
Yeah, they just end the game at that point. It's not like they can fight back at that point.
Oh, man.
I believe after that it is almost guaranteed that USM is going to ban Hecarim.
They're going to ban Hecarim. We don't even have to talk about that. Anyone can figure that one out.
Yeah,
if they give him Hecarim again, it's over.
Yeah, they are not going to let USA get Hecarim again. They are absolutely banning it. And honestly, I've seen Hecarim get banned a lot anyways, so if they don't ban Hecarim, looks like that might just be the series, honestly.
That will be the series indeed.
Yeah.
But you also have to think about this. What else are good from the things that they've already banned? What are they going to sacrifice for that?
Exactly. I mean, US.
For me, it would be Nami.
We haven't actually seen a Vi ban, have we? I expected Vi ban from USA. They banned Vi in a lot of the previous series, and then now they haven't been banning her recently. Not in these past 2 games.
I think it's just simply because that USM doesn't play Vi. If I had to take a guess, anyway.
Yeah. That's probably part of the reason. If you don't have to ban a champion that USM doesn't play, so.
Yeah. One thing we can predict: Aurelion Sol is getting banned first.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see Aurelion Sol. Oh, we were a little bit late on the draft.
We were late on the draft. We were too busy talking.
I mean, well, we didn't get a link quite fast enough, and they must have sent it before we were in the lobby. But we'll go ahead. No picks have been made yet. We are seeing
Bans are almost exactly the same, but yes, they did ban Hecarim, so that is off the table.
That was their first ban, yeah.
They still banned Nami, even though I don't think it's a good pick.
Still Nami and Lulu. It seems like those are just guaranteed bans for them. They are going to go Caitlyn again on USA side.
Caitlyn again. It actually worked really well, because if someone does... I've noticed something going on with USA. They manage to get good games, but leave someone at 1 HP. There's the Vi!
There's the Vi!
Anyways, continuing. I noticed they leave stuff at 1 HP, so Caitlyn is actually a really good pick to do that finishing... Just that finishing touch to get someone killed.
Exactly, yeah. It's a really good finisher to have. If somebody is just about to get away, you're just going to make sure they gotten rid of. But Vi in here, I did not expect USA to play against a Vi, because they usually ban her.
I did predict it would be here. Vi is definitely going to be a pick.
Yeah, Vi is definitely a viable pick for USM, and I think they're trying to just close out this final game and just be as impressive.
Karma.
And a Karma, just to give the speed boost as well. Vi is definitely going to be posturing bottom a lot, just because that's going to be a lot of easy kills for her.
That armor, it's most recommended to gank bot with Vi because of our armor piercing. And what other lane would have would benefit from armor piercing than the ADC? Exactly.
Yeah, it's a perfect place for a Vi to gank, especially early on. I could see Renata Glask. This is interesting. We'll see. That actually could be deadly against USM if they pick too high of attack damage. We haven't exactly seen what the ADC is going to be on USM side, so probably not something that's super high attack based. Probably you wouldn't want to have to deal with a Twitch and then have Twitch
Renata
ulti.
Glass. I have not seen Bel'Veth?
Bel'Veth.
Whoa!
Really trying to go secure a late game there.
That is very contrary for what they've been doing.
I suspect they want to be as oppressive as possible, and it is flipped again. The script just keeps kind of flipping, you know? It's like Xayah on USA side. Well, it looks like they're going to take Xayah this time.
Now, this time they're going to ban Syndra, right?
This time, maybe. They haven't seen it, though. I don't think they will. They
won't, but it would have been funny.
What?
Sion gets... Okay, no, what is going on? Sion's getting banned now.
What? If we're not going to pick it, then they're not going to pick it, I guess.
If we can't have it, no one can.
I guess that's the rule for both sides. If we're not picking it, then they aren't either.
I don't think they would go Sion. It would be Cansante, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Cansante could push anyone into Renata ult. But
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
see what they picked.
We'll see what they're doing with this last ban.
Last ban is probably going to be someone like, not Lissandra. I'll see him more Silas, but that works too.
It seems Lissandra gets banned a lot.
We have a bit of insight. The person who plays Lissandra in this game is actually currently the jungler.
Yeah, so I guess... Yeah, so it's not like this... I guess they were looking and seeing, oh, it's Lissandra, but they didn't see the names of the players to make sure, oh, and it is going to be a Syndra ban.
Okay, I think they actually do play Syndra if they're going to... I think USM actually does play Syndra if they're going to ban Syndra like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a script flip. It's just simply something we did not know at first.
Yeah, that's true. I think, so far, what are we thinking of this bot matchup? I'm thinking still that Caitlyn Renata Glass is going to be pretty oppressive against Xayah Karma.
It's going to be oppressive, but at the same time, you have the speed. What?
All right, now I'm confused.
Okay, Karma mid. I have not seen that in a while, besides, well, my one friend who doesn't go off meta build.
Yeah. So, okay.
Xayah Rakan. This changes everything.
Okay, so Karma mid, I guess.
So Vi goes for... Wait a minute. Vi goes for the... Rakan goes for ult. Vi uses ult and knocks back everyone because Rakan charms them all. That is actually not a bad plan coming from USM.
Akali gets picked.
Akali gets picked very much.
Which one is it? Is it Akali or Akali?
I think it's Akali, but I'm not going to judge. You can call him Akali.
I don't know how to pronounce things. People constantly make fun of my pronunciation in League.
Oh, I won't do that yet.
Yet. Wait till you hear how I pronounce other champions.
Oh, that'll be fun. Malphite.
Yeah. Malphite is going to... I'm kidding.
I'm predicting Fiora. I'm not going to lie. I'm predicting Fiora for the last pick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. Well, we'll see. I think they need some hard tank. USM's always go on like 2 big tanks, and now they currently don't have any real... Oh.
Silas.
Okay, I'm eternally confused now. Where is everybody going?
Silas is definitely going top. If Karma's top, then she's going tank. On the very... it actually could be Vi top and Silas jungle. It
could be, yeah. I could see that happening, but that is weird. Silas can certainly jungle, but when you have a Vi, you feel like Vi would always be the one to go jungle, right?
The problem, I've seen Silas jungle a lot, and the reason why they go it is because Silas is really good at getting ganked. He can go over walls. He can hook people. He can use his W to engage further. It's just a lot of things going on. His Q can slow. He can pull. He can get closer to people. It's everything. A jack of all trades for a jungler.
Yeah, and so I guess I could see a Silas going jungle. I just usually see him mid most of the time, so this is certainly a bit strange. On the other hand, it could be something completely off meta, right? Imagine this. So we have Silas mid, you have Vi jungle, but you have Karma top. Could happen. I don't think so, but I have seen some really off meta stuff before.
It doesn't matter who the jungler is. I already know dang well this jungler is going to go something ambitious.
Yeah, this is definitely... But I still think it's probably... I think this could be a Silas top, possibly.
You know what? I'm going to call it because I've been calling it the last 3 times. It's going to be... I don't know, maybe
A PGA bye. Let's see it happen.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be. I don't know.
Grasp the Undying Karma. Let's see it happen.
Let's see. I'm gonna call it right now. Let's see. I guess we're still waiting for them to start, but I'm gonna call it. It's gonna be. Man, you know what? Now I'm confused as well. I don't even know what to call at this point. What we've gotten a little bit too used to the fact that, I mean, you know, when we saw
Ever
these picks
since we saw the AG Munu, our script has gone off the table at this point.
as soon as we saw AP and Mumu, it just kind of went off the rails. But as soon as we saw Rakan, I was just like, you know what? I have no idea what's going on at this point.
Karma mid is actually really good if you play it right. It's just you're facing against an Akali. That is going to be interesting. Karma can easily get away, but at the same time,
yeah.
Actually, does Karma's W give True Sight? Because that could actually work out in Karma's favor against Akali.
I
know Kled does, but what about Karma?
Well, I don't think it allows you to actually target Akali with abilities, but it's sort of the way that invisible spells work. If somebody is being hit by an invisible spell, by a spell while invisible, then, you know, their outline shows up.
Got it. So if Karma's able to get the W before Akali engages, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I think, though, as well, that Akali's probably worst fear for Akali is going to be Vi. Because Vi is going to just be able to knock her even when she's in
for
her smoke, whatever, her W.
For this draft, though, I think USM might be at an advantage because they have a really good combo going on.
Yeah.
With Rakan, and not only that, after Rakan and Vi have done their business, Xayah can use her feathers to put everyone in place.
Right. I do see the good combo, but in the past I've seen in some of these games, wombo combos doesn't mean necessarily... Consistency seems to win a little bit more often. A team that has, you know, that you have spread damage on USA side, you have physical damage, and you have magic damage. Because you have the Akali, you have Bel'Veth, you have Caitlyn, so you have damage on all types. And then you also have some tankiness. You have the Malphite tanking. Probably not an AP Malphite. USA is a little bit more standard with their picks and their runes and things like that. Probably a Bel'Veth is going to go with something like... Probably just going to go Conqueror or Lethal Tempo. Probably Lethal... I'm going to call it Lethal Tempo on Bel'Veth. Actually...
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be Conqueror because, yes, with Malphite being the pick, yeah, it's good, but... It could either be Lethal Tempo or Conqueror. I don't think it's going to be PTA because that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It would get rid of her sustainability. PTA would be good just to shred someone, but I mean, sorry. Lethal Tempo would be good just to shred someone, and then Conqueror would just be good for overall sustaining with both her E and just doing more damage in general.
Yeah, because lethal tempo, I don't think Bel'Veth strictly needs, because her passive actually means that Bel'Veth actually can go past the attack speed cap just passively, right? Which is definitely not broken at all. You know, don't need a lethal tempo, you already have it.
Had my fair share of mentals in game because of it.
Yeah, so it looks like we're a few minutes away from starting. But yeah, what are we thinking? What are we thinking a little more in depth? What's happening bot lane? I assume it's Xayah Rakan going bot lane, most likely. I don't see where.
Rakan mid. Yeah, please.
It's definitely...
I've seen it happen, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be Xayah Rakan bottom versus Caitlyn Renata Glass. That actually does change things because we were initially thinking that USA had the advantage, but Xayah Rakan's a very good combo. I mean, they were literally made for each other. So, and I can confidently say that whenever I've been playing Xayah with Rakan, you have most of the time, except in some scenarios, you have the lane advantage, at least early on. They have to play at least a little bit more safe against that, because Rakan engage is very dangerous for them to deal with, and then a Xayah follow-up is just going to be very deadly, especially level 6. So,
yes.
But we do have a lot more poke on USA side. So they're going to have to deal... So USM's going to have to deal with that.
This will be interesting. USM has the advantage when it comes to team fights, but USA has the advantage when it comes to just straight out damage dishing.
Exactly.
Not only that, but if
Renata's able to get the ability in time, she can easily change the fight from that one combo we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. And USA does have some pretty good combos just in general. You have Malphite into Bel'Veth. Especially if Bel'Veth manages to get ulti off right into Malphite's ulti, then that's going to be massive. Akali could then follow up right into that, and especially just overall on South side, he's seeing it being more consistent. I feel like USM's picks are unorthodox to at least some degree. I could see it working for them, but they have less tankiness, right? I've seen it.
They have less tankiness, yeah. But
yeah.
I'm wondering. I'm calling everything. It is Karma Top.
You can't.
It is Karma Top. No way.
And I've seen everything.
Now
I've seen everything.
Okay, I had a scenario. So let's say, here's the thing. Sylas passive works every time you use an ability, you can do an enhanced attack. If Renata's able to ult before they get the full combo in, Sylas is going to shred his whole entire team with his passive.
Yeah.
Naya first, and then probably, well, not Karma since she's top, but...
That's going to be tanky Karma, I think. I'm imagining... I bet. Let me call it.
Seen it all.
We haven't seen it all yet. I'm gonna put it out there. Karma's going to go grasp probably. I'm just.
Hey, that's my call, man. Don't steal that.
Hey, wait. When did you make that call?
I made that call a while ago.
Well, I must not have remembered because I could not see. I didn't originally see her going that. I really thought this was gonna be somebody else top, but it looks like
Karma. I've actually done Karma Top before. It's actually very viable as long as you don't get caught. Against Malphite, it's not that bad since you won't have to worry about ganks. If you do get ganked, you just W the ganker and E away. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. And Karma is going to be survivable probably in top lane. That's the one thing. Karma Top does actually work to some extent, but I don't know if she has the most presence across the map unless she runs teleportation, which probably will do, actually.
Well, I don't think she plans on getting killed. She just plans on getting as much farm as possible and just maybe a Radiant Virtue Karma would happen alongside Vi.
I've seen some Karmas go get enough healing items to just be almost unkillable and uncatchable, right?
I've seen that with Taric. It is annoying.
Yeah, it is the most annoying thing. Yeah, and on the topic of Taric, little aside, Taric needs to be banned from Earth permanently. Just thought I should put that out here.
You think that's bad? You should think of other champions like Kassadin.
I could deal with Kassadin in Earth, even. His ulti actually doesn't get 80% off of his, or 75%, I guess, off of his...
Oh, they patched it? Or what?
Yeah, last Earth that happened, they didn't allow his ulti to have any more than 70... they didn't actually reduce the cooldown of his ulti. They made it an exception, right? Because otherwise, you're right. 1 point, let's see, I think it's like 2 seconds at max level. Minus what? Do you get a half-second ulti at max level? Yeah, I think there's one exception.
Well, the only ultra rapid fire we're gonna have in this match is most likely the Bel'Veth. So we're gonna see how this goes.
Let's see if Sylas. I'm thinking Sylas versus Akali. I think Sylas probably. It's pretty even, actually.
Akali can easily get away, and then Sylas can also get away.
Yeah, Sylas can use Akali's get away to get away.
Sylas is an interesting card. I don't remember what counters him, but
yeah,
it's really hard to counter him since he can steal ultimates, and especially if he has a level advantage, that's when it gets really interesting.
I'd say the thing that counters him is useless ultis, right? For instance, Zoe, I think, to a degree, it plays well against Sylas, because Sylas has no ulti that's good enough to steal. That's not a really good ulti to steal Zoe's ult. It's kind of decent. I think Sylas could use E-dash initially, ulti, and then use his E mid-air, and then probably be able to pull himself all the way to somebody like that. I'm not sure how that interaction works, but overall, Zoe ult is not very good steal for him. So Sylas is countered by champions that just don't have good ultis, but I think every ulti on USA side is a very stealable ult. I'm not sure how it interacts with Bel'Veth, but if it is...
Renata, to be specific.
Yeah, Renata especially is a very stealable ult. It's very worth it to get as a counterattack. But definitely, Silas has a lot to steal here in this fight. But Akali, I think Akali is going to be able to. I think Akali kind of beats Silas. I've seen games Silas versus Akali, and Silas can play against Akali, but only if he does pretty good. Only if he really gets the lead early, right? But overall, I think that. But I mean, if he gets the lead early, he is going to start dominating in Akali pretty quickly. But we'll see how it ends up turning out.
We will indeed see how it turns out. That last game, though, so good that I'm coughing. This game, however, I think it's more favored on USM, but you never know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it could go either way, honestly, at this point. I mean, I do have to say, once again, USM doesn't have a lot of tank. They are going into this with no real heavy tank on their team.
Yeah.
And so
honestly, I don't think their objective is to sustain. Their objective is to shred. I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah, their objective
and they also have Karma top, so the tank problem is no longer a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Karma could definitely go tank, and I think she probably will. So let's see. So far,
summon Airy Karma at top?
That is interesting.
Fleet Footwork Belbeth? Huh. Now that is interesting.
All right.
Well, for once I didn't call something. I guess I should be happy about that, but interesting. First strike going to Silas. Very... yeah. Arcane Kong. So, do we know what secondary runes everyone is going, or is that impossible to see? Control... Let's do a Control Shift Z real quick and zoom that out. There we go.
Yep. So it looks like they might be going for an invade.
This will be this will be interesting. Silas might be able to get it. Nope, he doesn't go for it.
So we've seen every team that South Alabama faces seems to like to go for the 5-man invade. Are they going to continue it?
I wouldn't be surprised. They have a lot of CC.
It is worth the invade if they can get the early advantage. It looks like they really, really want to secure this early advantage to hopefully win. But it looks like South is already well prepared with the emote spam. And is going to be able to predict them going for this. So it looks like they just kind of wasted time doing this. 2 wards in the same spot. Miscommunication.
Not necessarily wasting time. The laning phase hasn't completely started, and mid is already back. So
yeah, it looks like they are going to make it to their lanes. It looks like Malphite is sitting in the tri-bush. He's going to try to get an early lead on the Karma.
As Malphite once said, "You will lose."
And it looks like goes in Malphite's favor.
Yep, he lost. All jokes aside.
Yeah.
In terms of both teams, USM has an advantage towards like comboing team fights, while USA probably has an advantage towards counteracting said combo.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of, especially Belveth with her E, is going to be any combos against her is going to result in Belveth simply being able to not take a lot of damage from any big combos. I'm not even sure if her E can even be interrupted.
It can. It's a channel.
Yeah, but I think I've been stunned while playing Belveth before, and it just keeps going.
Did you need to report that at the Riot headquarters?
Hey, Riot, why is Belveth not being cancelled? Because we wanted to make Belveth oppressive as crap and unbearable to play against. Thank you.
Are you sure you weren't rooted or stunned?
I'm pretty sure it just means it might be just rooted. I'm not sure. But a huge trade.
Yeah, that's a really good trade. Roots don't interrupt Belveth E, but anything that moves it or prevents it from using abilities does.
Yeah, so I think that would include silence, but I'd have to test that.
No, it silences too.
It looks like an
Silence gets a good engage, but Akali's able to get away with their W.
Looks like Vi's coming down, might be going for a gank.
Yeah, this could really go bad because her W is down right now.
Oh, and she's going to get called out.
First blood goes to Vi.
maybe starting to see why USA banned Vi every game in the last few years.
That's an exception. Vi flashed.
That's true. Yes, but it is pretty. That is one thing about Vi, though, just being able to do that. Oh, it looks like
actually being able to flash mid Q. That is. I feel like I'm seeing those less and less as champions go on. So maybe it'll be an adjustment that Riot does in the future. Because I've noticed a trend when it comes to Riot games. They like to make champions unique and remove some abilities that seem similar. One good example would be Tomcat Czar and Ryzazar. They both have similar things, but Riot likes to make champions that are unique. So.
Right.
Well, if that was the case, why'd they make Yasuo and Yone?
Yeah, that is true. Let's make well, we had to make his brother, of course.
Yeah, we had to make his brother come back from the dead.
Yeah, and then now it looks
just mess up the lore even further.
Yeah, no, we have retconned. We actually retconned this one, so we actually it makes sense.
It's another person that goes 0 and 10.
Bel'Vev is gonna come in.
The heal goes on for USM, but
The
Zaya
kill's
goes
gonna come
down
out.
despite being healed. Heal going out to Bel'Vev, which is really good for her stacks. Vi's gonna be able to get away, but she blocked it for Rakan. And that might actually, they both get out.
They're pretty low at this point, so it looks like a lot of them are going to end up backing.
That was actually really well played from Vi. I was expecting her just to leave Rakan, but no, she took one for the team and got away.
Yeah. Light Locust is doing pretty good against Karma.
Agreed. Well, it's a Karma, so...
Yeah.
Don't mess with her, and she won't mess with you. That is literally Karma. Not the champion. I mean, actual Karma.
Yeah, no, I knew what you were referring to.
I'm just making sure, okay?
Yeah. But Karma, yeah, I don't know what Karma's gonna be able to do. Oh, Karma does go teleport, so it looks like I was right. It was actually teleport.
You were right. Karma would go teleport. Top players usually go teleport anyway, so it's not a surprise.
But also with the ability to roam is something that I think Karma's going for, because a roaming kind of like a second support to have.
I'm just curious on what she's gonna go. Because he went from an air, so she might go full healing and maybe Radiant Virtue, but we don't really know.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it and say it's probably Radiant Virtue.
Well, we also have Vi, so she's not going Radiant Virtue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has a Sheen already. She might be going either Triforce or Divine.
Oh, I was referring to Karma.
No, well, seeing as both of them can't have Radiant, because that would just be beneficial.
Oh, so right.
It might actually be the Karma that's going to Radiant, because Vi is going both anti-heal and their Sheen, which could be built into either Triforce and...
Right, that's what I'm... Well, that's what I mean. Karma, I think, is going Radiant Virtue.
Mm-hmm. Or...
I'm gonna go... That shield doing wonders for the Malphite.
Updating on Karma, she bought a cloth piece, which kind of does nothing to Malphite, but might be the item that she's going for.
Malphite is getting ganked by Vi now.
Vi is coming in,
but it looks like Malphite
is too tanky.
Too tanky and fast.
That mountain is really fast.
The ulti comes out from both of them. We'll see how this works out.
Oh my god!
And both of them survive, and it looks like the flash is gonna come out.
That was like a Wild West draw. Who's gonna ult first?
Yeah, I was almost expecting to happen exactly the same time, but it looks like they both managed to get out.
That like a double kill right there. That would have been interesting to see.
Vi is looking for jungle camps to steal, but it looks like Vi is gonna find nothing.
Nothing at all.
Well, the blue is coming up, by the looks of it.
Nothing but wondering why Vi didn't get banned. The Karma's coming in, being more aggressive than she usually is, but I mean that's usually how it works with Karma. She likes to poke a lot with her enhanced Q. If she misses, her ult's gonna be down for a while.
Yeah, and it's not really good for Karma in this lane to have that happening.
The good news about Karma is that any abilities that she hits will reduce the ult cooldown timer.
So
Really? I guess I haven't played.
So let's say she does an enhanced W. If she stays on the target long enough, her ult cooldown would be like 6 seconds.
Wow, I didn't know that.
She'll both hit her enhanced W, her Q, and yeah, it's just all of that. It's 3 hits total. So
wow.
Karma's a very versatile champion. You cannot miss though. If you miss, your ult is going to be staggered for a while. Vi looks like she tried to gank, but Akali was able to get out just in time.
It looks like in bot lane.
It looks like it's going to be a 4-man tower dive. Are they going to go for this again?
They might. Akali looks like she's posturing to react to this. It connects.
That was a really good hook.
But it might not be completely worth it.
That is not worth it at all. Oh, she missed her E, and there comes Vi with the ult. But Akali decided to get away instead of go for the kill.
That makes sense unless Akali finishes the execute. Silas is going to respond with W and get healed up, and then he might even.
Yeah, I don't blame that action then because Silas was ready for it.
Yeah.
But now that Vi is gone, Akali has that second chance.
Yeah, and Vi is gone near bottom. Looks like just
Silas
farming.
backing off. He's smart. He knows better. But Akali looks like she's going to try to stop the back.
Trying to just keep him from backing, to waste as much time as possible. Hoping, it looks like Akali's trying to just shove into Silas's tower and then just back as well.
Karma going to cooldown boots. So yeah, I think she actually is just going... Basically going as much cooldown as possible and sustain as much as possible. So it might actually be Locket that she's going. Because I can't think of anything else she could go that has Claw. Well, I mean, I guess she could go... I guess she could go for Gauntlet, but...
That would be pretty interesting to see that.
That doesn't work anymore because now it's a more offensive item than defensive.
Yeah. Looks like, kind of like we were expecting, and Caitlyn and Renata Glask are pushing in, but Bel'Veth is coming up from behind, but I believe the ward probably caught the Bel'Veth. Silas is posturing bot, so is Vi, but Akali is responding as well. Looks like this is a fight, but the Silas might not be knowing what he's getting himself into. He's probably going to get caught out. He's going to get the steal.
Great mistake happening to them. And Silas tried to steal the Renata ult to counteract it, but it was just too late.
Too late at that point.
I like to mention for the first... Oh, Malphite ult! There goes Karma!
Looks like
coming in. The USM going for different targets, which causes them to not necessarily get a kill yet.
It looks like it's not going to be fruitful. They might get the Vi, and Vi goes down.
Vi goes down. They went for 2 different targets. That was a grave mistake coming from USM. If they focus one target or coordinate it at least.
Oh, but the overextension is going to result in almost 2 of them dying.
Almost 2 of them dying. What's I saying before? This caught me off guard. Anyways, yeah, USM went for 2 different targets. That actually made their downfall. Like, if they went, for example, if they both went for either Caitlyn or Renata Glask, which was closer, they could have got a pick and gotten out. But instead, they went for 2 different targets, thinking they could get them both. That was...
A little bit too greedy, yeah.
A little bit too greedy. I mean, USM did get a kill, but it was a shutdown of Rakan, so it's not very fruitful, as one would expect.
They do have the Rift Herald, though, so it looks like...
They do have the Rift Herald. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. USA finally got a drag over USM on the first one.
Yeah, on the first one. That's...
And it's Infernal. That's a good one.
It's a good one to have. It looks like Vi wants to try to start and drag this one out.
Alright, this is if this is the Chemtech Drake for Soul, I want you to pay attention to Dragon Pit once they take the dragon.
Yeah.
Because this is a weird bug that happens.
I don't think I've been Chemtech twice in a row. But it looks like there is a fight about to start around the Drake.
Let's direct the camera towards Drag Pit, because this is gonna be it's Ocean Soul, but a fight looks like it's going on. Directed camera can go back.
Yeah.
We thought there was gonna be a fight, but it looks like they got up pretty smoothly.
Yeah. Silas is gonna respond, but the smoke for the Akali is just very, very powerful against Silas.
Rakan goes in, goes double down with W and ult, but is not able to. Well, yeah, they're cornering him, but I have a feeling here comes the Vile.
Vile comes down. One goes down. It looks like the other might go down as well.
Oh, that was not a good idea, Renata.
Tries to get the ulti, but it doesn't work.
Thankfully, did not waste it, because otherwise that would have been detrimental for the next fight.
Yeah, and it looks like USM has actually got the lead as a result.
USM is now ahead in gold. And they're tied up on dragons.
Looks like they're pretty low here, but Silas does have a decent amount of health right now, especially because of this Rod of Ages. Looks like support ganking here, but Akali's just
able to heal the Silas if Silas knows how Rakan works.
So seeing, see how. So far, it's been a pretty neutral top lane. Not really much happening actually. Only the Karma has died once actually. Did we see that? Directed camera. You better have gotten that.
Yes, we did see it. Malphite got the ult.
Oh yeah.
I was the one to comment about it.
Oh yeah.
It was a straightforward fight. It was just basically a one and done ult.
Yeah, I think he could have ulted there. He did have ulti up.
I don't.
Maybe it might have not have killed him.
Like, knowing Carter, he probably would, but I think he just decided not to because look at the defensive items she's got.
Right.
It would have been a massive loss if that went bad.
Yeah, if that ulti wasn't available, then I was just losing that.
Malphite is trying to fight the Malphite, but Malphite is just tanky. But unfortunately, he got hit by 2 turret shots. TP comes in with Karma, but Belveth, the Manta Ray, is here, taking down the Vi in the process.
Ulti from Malphite comes out, catches both of them. And it's going to be a win for USA.
Karma is usually the other way around, but this time it's Karma that's surrounded by 3 of them. Silas comes in with a Kali ult ready and primed.
Silas might be able to turn this around with the Malphite being so low.
I'd also like to mention Belveth, I believe, has the Rift Herald.
Malphite is going to go down, actually.
Malphite goes down. Here comes Renata ult.
And he's going to go down.
Belveth is down. Probably a triple kill for Silas. Or not a triple kill, sorry. Karma got 1 kill. But double kill for Silas. Ramon might be able to get away, but just barely. Fight coming in bot. Rakan used ult. Xayah is very low. It's still going in. But there's an ignite. She ulted. Rakan was able to heal.
Was able to heal. Flash comes out from Caitlyn, and it looks like this is going to go to South. Gets the trap perfectly.
They might have lost that, but Rakan tried his absolute best to keep Xayah alive.
Silas is still diving.
Silas is still diving. Rod of Ages Silas. He's got a lot to tank with.
And USA can't really do anything about it.
He's halfway through with his stack, so once he hits the 10th stack, he'll get a free level. So when you go Rod of Ages, you want to get as much levels as possible. That way you get just an extra level that would usually take a long time. A very controversial thing because that one level can basically make the fight impossible and one-sided.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, Kassadin. If he gets level 16 because of that Rod of Ages, it's just game over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But in this case as well, it's a really tough to kill Silas. It looks like they're swapping lanes. Silas is going to go top. Karma's going to roam to mid lane.
And as predicted, Karma did go the Radiant Virtue, so that is what they were going for team fights. And it did go Divine Sunder. The big mountain is about to get destroyed by 4 people, but here comes Belveth to counteract.
He's going to ulti out. The Vi gets caught out.
Just completely caught out. Akali goes back in and jukes the hell out of Rakan.
Could not even catch her out there. They managed to get 1 for nothing, and they might be able to get this next Drake as a result coming up in 9 seconds.
Vi is down and Belveth is still up. That is on USA's side to get the Drake. And just like that, the gold levels are almost even.
This is going to be an interesting game, and really even for both teams. We'll see how this ends up panning out late game. South may have the advantage because of tankiness. Akali gets called out, but is
not
able
that much. No one's able to respond in time because
everyone is there. Very interesting. Third drag goes to USA, and it's Ocean Soul, so if they're able to stack... Okay, we got another fight. We got Belfast going in. Renata ult goes in and takes them all down, and Caitlyn there to finish the fight on the second pick. A 2-0. USA is now definitely ahead on gold, and Rift Herald has been summoned. If Renata, I'm sorry, not Renata. If Belvev still has her passive, that means she has a Voidling minion, but that doesn't look to be the case. So it looks like she got killed after getting Rift Herald.
Looks like South does have the advantage now after that fight.
Indeed, they do. They're ahead on gold now by a long shot, almost 2K, probably.
Looks like about
1.4K, right? Or 1.6?
1.6 now.
1.6. Belvev about to catch out the Karma. Malphite ult comes in.
Karma is pretty
too late
tanky.
for Karma. Karma is pretty tanky. She got her W and Radiant Virtue to help her out.
This might be going wrong for Sal.
USA gets caught out because she'll try to deal with the tanky Karma. It was not worth it at all.
And that swings things back nearly into USM's favor. They're now only down
gold difference.
Yeah, only about 500 gold. Well, 400 gold difference. Yeah. Now at 300 gold difference, so it's almost even again. This is a really even game. Wow.
This is a very even game.
Usually it's off by like 1 or 2K, but this is like almost exactly almost 20 minutes into the game.
This Akali is trying something interesting. It looks like she's waiting for the Rakan to make a mistake, so she can go in for the other enemy team.
Silence uses stolen ult, Malphite ult, and is able to take out...
ult, and there goes Caitlyn.
And this is now in USM's favor. It just swung. I think this game has swung like a few times.
Silas looks like he has the advantage in terms. Yes, that's correct. I feel like Silas has the advantage in terms of team fights because he can steal ults and can easily get picks with Malphite or Renata ult, for that matter, and even Akali.
Yeah.
Anything else. And if he wants to be an ambitious guy, he can steal Caitlyn ult and just let them get away just from the ult.
Yeah, exactly, and that's with Silas in this game, there's just so much to steal. That's what we were talking about before, and it's actually showing itself to be the case.
I'm actually quite curious what would happen if he stole Belvev. Would he be able to use that in its full prime?
Would he get full stacks for using?
I don't know. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
he gets the transformation, but I think that's it. So if he gets the ult and takes Baron, the Baron thing, would he have the Voidlings?
Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I don't think the passive attack speed buff would go to him just because that is a part of Belveth's passive. It looks like they're going for a gank.
Going for a gank. Akali gets caught out immediately, having to stay in the flashing out to survive. They were waiting for her to come out, but she flashed out. And here comes Belvev shredding the Vi to almost half HP. Caitlyn coming in as well.
And it looks like they are able to get out of that fight. Zaya takes middle tier 1, so it looks like they are now almost 1K in the lead. South is going to have to turn this around.
This is going to be very interesting. It's been, at first it was USA having the advantage, but now it's just completely even.
Well,
1K difference, but you know what I mean.
At this point, yeah, at this point in the game, it's almost as if you could just say it's even. I mean, really, both teams have like about 1 or 2 champions with 2 items. Actually, USM has 2 champions with 2 items. USA only has 1 champion with 2 items, or 2 full items. I guess unless you count Renata Glass with her completed, whatever it's called, short of... It doesn't really count, I guess.
It don't really matter. It would only really matter if she had her boots, which she does, so I guess...
Right.
Okay, fine, you win this time.
It kind of counts, like half.
It kind of counts. But they're not noticing that control ward. That is keeping me on edge because Rakan's be able to stop the back.
He's gonna just
and gets the bow plating.
Looks like Belvev. They
really wants to get stacks.
Yeah, it's gonna be posturing around this next Drake. It looks like both teams are sort of heading towards the next Drake, but USM does have the advantage is that they already are on the Drake. Malphite is stolen.
Not taking any damage. Well, he is now, but no, that Malphite might be gone if Belvev was able to save him, but that was very close for Carter.
They do manage to get out. They might be looking to try to go back in.
They have. Everyone has their ults, so this is basically going to be a battle of who wants to drag more.
I would say it might be in USA's best interest to try to push a tower instead of trying to posture around the Drake. This might not be worth it.
Pushing a tower would be better, but knowing my luck, they're going to go for it anyway, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
We'll see how this works out.
Khan goes in, wastes the W. Vi is about to waste her Q. This is a perfect opportunity for USA to go in if they find the angle.
They get two of them with the Malphite ulting.
Renata ult coming in.
Renata ult's hitting three.
Getting shredded.
Shredding on USA.
USA.
But 3 down on USA, and it looks like this might be all of them. But USA does manage to get the Malphite out.
Malphite might be able to do something if she keeps herself. No, it's over. USM takes them down.
And it's gonna be a 2 for 5. 2 for 5 trade. And that was, and like I said before, I think it would have been in their better interest to do something else, probably.
Yes, agreed. But it looked good at first. It's just the engage was good, but the damage was not so as beneficial.
Yeah.
The Radiant Virtue coming from Karma probably made it so no one died. Silas is almost low. I believe Zaya was low at first, but now she's healed up. It's very interesting how this team comp is going.
And they're gonna get
Karma is
They're gonna get the Drake anyways as a result of that fight. That's what I was thinking was going to happen in the past 2 games. If they already had the advantage of just being on Drake already, you really had to almost just give it up. And it's still 2-2 on Drake, so they're still doing pretty good.
They are. But now the gold deficit is definitely on USM's favor. That ace might be the reason that USA loses, but it's anyone's game still, because we still have a Bel'Veth who can shred anyone, and an Akali who has managed to juke Rakan's abilities like non-stop.
Yeah, what we really need to see on USA side, they probably want to drag this game out as best they can, try to get the Caitlyn up in farm as best as possible. Infinity Edge already, so Caitlyn is doing pretty good, but there are 3 items on Zaya, and that is going to be that's going to be really hard to deal with.
The thing is, though, they're very even on KDA, so you would think Caitlyn have another item, but she doesn't.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, that is really true. I believe Zaya probably got
more cannons.
Yeah, Zaya probably got more shutdowns.
Yeah, that too.
That and cannons, probably.
This is going to be really interesting. Honestly, the Black Cleaver is on Vi, which gives even more armor shredding, so anyone that Vi touches, their armor is gone.
They are
USM is going for Baron. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, it does look like they're going for Baron, but they actually are going to go off of it. They're actually going to go...
Oh, they're going for a trap.
Going for a trap.
Caught out here.
But they're actually
still alive. Bel'Veth is still alive, but...
A 3-man ulti from Malphite, but is it going to mean anything? But the ulti comes out from Silas, and he steals Malphite ulti, and this might be bad for Caitlyn. We'll see if he can get out, but he's not going to get out.
Caitlyn is gone.
This is going to be very bad for USA. And
oh, well played from Akali.
Akali's just going to get out. The gold deficit hasn't changed too much. They do manage to kill 2, so it's not a terrible trade. But it looks like USM is going to go for... is going to try to go for Drake Baron again.
They are going to go for Baron. Well, I mean, I guess we could call it a Void Drake if you want to go that route.
The Void Drake, yes.
The Void Drake.
The Void Snake-like Feller Drake.
The Void Worm.
Void Worm.
No, Weird.
Worm.
Weird, a type of dragon.
Yeah.
Baron does go to USM, and Akali looks like she's doing more than she can chew by trying to sneak up and try to do something about it. Malphite is also getting caught out, but that doesn't really matter because, well, Malphite is a tank.
Malphite is Malphite.
Malphite also went Demonic Embrace. I'd like to mention that.
They are going for this Malphite.
Ult is going to come out of Malphite no matter what happens, so... Or he might just get caught out. Yeah, he's caught out.
He gets caught out. Nah, he's going to be pretty bad.
Silas is 7-1 with not only Rod of Ages, but Shadow Flame and a Void Staff. That is a lot to take in the fight against.
Well, and not also you look Majai's Soul Stealer as well.
I didn't see that.
With 10 stacks now, so that's actually gonna want to try to shut down the Silas. He is doing insane damage.
That's going to be really hard with the Vi and Rakan able to put everyone in basically a little plate. Vi looks like he's going to go for the Bel'Veth. I don't think that's going to work, but I could be surprised. No, it looks like she was just trying to steal jungle. Top turret looks like it's going to go down. Top turret does indeed go down. And it looks like they're going to steal camps from USA's side just to make sure they can't get anything out of here.
And this gold deficit is getting worse and worse for USA. They have to find a way to try to deal with this, but with having 4 items on the Sylas and nearly 4 items on the Xayah, it is a lot to deal with. They have to get a pretty good combo here to win this.
Yeah, agreed. This and the combos really go to USM, like I said before. So
yeah.
if they're gonna try anything, they have to wait for USM to make a mistake, and that would be a pick. But judging by how USM has been playing, they are pretty secure with whatever they do. They've been very coordinated, and Sylas is able to go in by himself because he's super tanky like Malphite. It's basically Malphite, but better.
Malphite, but more damage, basically, yeah.
Malphite's not. I'm not saying Malphite's a bad pick. It's just Sylas is able to take whatever he wants.
Right. In his case, Malphite. This Sylas is way ahead as well. I mean, he's at level 17 at this point. He's nearly 3 levels ahead of just about every champion on USA's side.
That is the power of Rite of Ages. He has an extra level above. If it weren't for that, he'd be level 16 right now.
Yeah.
Probably maybe level 15 because he could have had XP midway.
And he always steals Malphite's ult, which makes sense because it counteracts the initiation that Malphite has by just saying, "Well, I have it too."
Here comes the third Ocean Drake. Well, it is favored towards ESM. USA should just well, yeah. There goes Malphite.
Malphite is going to go down. They might look for more.
No, Bernard's able to stop that, but Vi goes in with the Vi ult, and Rakan gets shut. Rakan was able to get shut down by, I don't know who it was. I think it was Renata. If Rakan got that W down, it would have been detrimental for USA.
They almost caught out the Vi, but just barely. With the shield from the Karma, it's just really hard to kill anybody there.
This is not looking good for USA. This is on USM's favor. If they get another drag, it'll be Ocean Soul, and that will pretty much seal the game when it comes to... Okay.
It looks like it comes out with the emote spam at this point.
I thought that wasn't allowed.
I don't know. I guess you can do it a little bit from what I've heard, but that's about...
That is more than a little of it, and I hope he might get punished for it.
He's going
back in. Oh, he uses a Akali ult to get away.
Will he get away from this?
He has Flash still up, so he definitely can. And shreds the Akali in that matter. Akali goes down.
And he's going to get out.
They're trying to fight Malphite, and yeah, they shred Malphite now because they just let Xayah get way too far ahead. Xayah is almost full build. One more item, and that seals her set. Inhibitor goes down like the first game, and that will be the first thing to be taken down. What I'm noticing in USA's playstyle, Caitlyn looks to be the odd one out in this fight because Caitlyn's not able to get in fast enough compared to Bel'Veth and Malphite.
Right.
While they have a Xayah, while the enemy team has a Xayah, and Karma can just speed everyone else to engage all together.
Exactly.
USA has a speed difference compared to USM. That might be why they're doing team fights better, because they're able to be more ready at a faster note.
Yeah, and then Caitlyn's trying to catch up in these fights and isn't able to fast enough. It means the difference between winning and losing a team fight.
She's had to waste her E a couple of times to get further in instead of using it against enemies.
I will say it's also probably because Sylas is 9-1 with 18 stacks on the book at this point. Well, 10 stacks before, but that's part of the reason he's so far ahead. And he's always stealing Malphite's ulti. It looks like
Sylas might be going for a Malphite ult right here.
He is looking for something to kill. USA is trying to play careful.
Like I predicted, they should have banned Vi because Vi has been the main engager for most of these fights. Akali getting caught out with Malphite ult, almost dead.
But no Malphite ult on the Sylas anymore. That actually is really good for USA. He was looking for a kill on that, but isn't able to get it.
Here comes Malphite. Might be able to return the sender in this case.
But it looks like Akali's going to have to regen, come back.
Yeah, Akali got destroyed by Sylas simply because, like you said, he's got Magi's, he's got everything.
Yeah, he's got just so many items at this point, and it looks like he's going for Death Cap now.
USA is bundled up, but in truthful, they do not want to be bundled up against the Vi and the Rakan.
They get the two-man ulti. Massive ulti from him. Hostile takeover. Shredded them completely. And they catch 3 of them.
The plan that was supposed to happen to USM backfired severely.
Completely in USA's favor. A huge comeback by 5k gold.
So intense that we all raised an octave there. What the hell happened?
Wow. I did not see that happening, but you know what? I think from before we saw the Malphite ult from the Silas being used on Akali but failing, that probably made the difference in that fight. If he had
Bel'Veth is going in. Will Bel'Veth be able to take this down? Here comes Stopwatch. Karma's going in the root. Xayah goes down. Shutdown for Bel'Veth.
Bel'Veth gets the shutdown and we'll get another kill. USA is coming back.
USA is coming back, and Bel'Veth doesn't even need help. She will shred this Baron to bits.
Completely shredding the Baron. This might be the comeback that USA was looking for. They may be even able to contest this next Drake.
It is comeback season for USA, and that is no doubt.
Wow.
Dragon is coming up, and we have the Xayah and the Karma down. Without Xayah doing the main dish of damage, they're going to have to rely on Silas to get a good pick in. This might be a Dragon going to USA, and this will be a double soul point.
So close in this game.
So close for that working for USM, but unfortunately, Rakan wasn't there to put everyone back in. It was Vi going in by herself, and that's what caused them the loss right there.
It looks like this will go to USA.
Vi is about to steal. She almost steals, but it's so close. Now Vi
was undetected completely.
Vi was undetected. From our point of view, it looks ridiculous, but they genuinely don't see her.
Vi dashed right into the bush, so they couldn't see her. That's actually one thing that happens with these kinds of Drakes. When you have an Ocean Soul, these bushes are inside the Drake. You could dash into them, and they won't be able to tell that you dashed in at all. So Vi was actually doing a pretty good play there because she knew she was going to go right into the bush, and she could have possibly stolen the Drake if she
trouble again.
Yeah, and if she
another thing I'd like to note, I know this fight's going on, but another thing to note, look at the smite difference between Bel'Veth and Vi. Vi went the movement speed smite, while Bel'Veth went the tankier option. That might be the reason why Vi got shredded in that last fight, because she had the movement speed to engage, but not the sustain to keep into the fight.
Exactly. And this might be dangerous, but the Silas stole the Malphite ult without using it.
Yes, that was their objective. They cornered Malphite so Silas can have the advantage of the ability, which is something that USA has not learned yet.
Yeah, they need to keep Malphite from. I mean, it's kind of hard to just say let's keep Silas from having Malphite's ulti, but Malphite should be playing careful, especially.
Malphite should be playing careful, but the Voidlings, this will be interesting. If Bel'Veth is able to use the Voidlings accordingly, then they will have a huge push on one of the lanes. It looks like they're backing now. This might be their perfect opportunity to do so. No, they should not go for this. If they should focus on the push.
Silas is already.
Here we go. Flash going on. Karma's down. Karma's just down. No, she gets out. Radiant Virtue saves her life. For now, at least. Nope, she missed it. And that might be a kill on Karma. No,
this is bad for Bel'Veth.
Silas not played ult. He got too ambitious. The shutdown on Bel'Veth comes in. And Vi is coming in to dish everyone else back in. Rakan comes into the ult and plates them in. Barely Vi survives, but Rakan goes back in.
Akali hits the ulti, a massive ulti
from... They are bringing it back!
They're coming back again, a huge fight for USA. They use the abilities accordingly. Akali gets the snipe on, I believe it was Rakan, or it was the Vi actually.
Once again, Rakan was not able to combo in time. Renata got her ability off before Rakan was able to dish him into a plate.
Yeah, the Renata ultis have been on point every single time, and at least on the past 2 fights. And it looks like they might be able to stealing a different ulti because Silas can't steal it.
Might be taken down if they're not careful. Silas might be ambitious, but they got a lot of power at their disposal.
South is learning they are not going too ambitious in the past few games or earlier games
They have done that a lot.
Yeah, but this time they just try to get the tower and they get out, and it works out perfectly for them. Looks like Zaya's still chasing.
Zaya's indeed still chasing. She has Guardian Angel, so she can extend if she wanted to. I don't think it's worth it, but she can.
Well, it would definitely be a mistake if she did.
Indeed. So the next drag is going to be so point, no matter who gets it. So whoever gets this might change the fate of the game.
We went from an 8k gold deficit to nearly...
even, again.
Yeah, it almost looks like 1.6k now. It's almost completely even at this point. We're looking at almost a 40-minute game. This might be the longest game we've streamed thus far.
What a game 3 this is.
This is really quite the game 3. They are definitely tryharding as best they can to win this final game.
I wouldn't expect any less anyway.
Yeah, me neither. You gotta try hard in these kinds of games.
Yeah. It's for reputation.
To beat him in this one.
So it looks, Dragon is coming up in less than a minute, and USA has already got the vision advantage. Vi is right here. Malphite might be going in, but decides to back off. That Vi looks scared against the Malphite. She expected the entire team, I suppose.
They are really trying to...
Left click the Malphite. How much HP does he have? Oh, no, it don't matter. Not right now.
And he's gonna use the ulti.
Khan goes down.
But this is dangerous. Up mid lane, Xayah is going right up mid along with
they're
Sylas.
Going straight for the Nexus. This is exactly what happened the first game.
They're going straight for the Nexus, but they are getting a response. It looks like the one tower will go down.
I don't think it's enough of a response, though. They might be able to re-engage this if they're not careful. Akali might get killed here. Akali's getting killed here.
Akali is going to get
Akali
out.
Goes for the flash. Drake is going to have to go to them. Xayah coming in.
But Bel'Veth is getting the Drake. Bel'Veth is getting the Drake. I gotta go see this right now. But he might not be able to get it. And they stole it.
Does not get the Drake. That is not good for USA. How did Akali get there? What happened?
I think Akali used the E on the Sylas as he was teleporting so that she could follow up.
That was not... Oh man, that was very greedy for USA. That might be the reason they lose here. They only have one turret left, and Inhibitor struck. It's only Renata and Malphite. All they can do is just hope they can keep them off for a while. Vi doesn't have ult yet, thankfully, but it's 20 to 30 seconds on the clock. This might be the end of Game 3, and they were doing so well, too. Malphite comes in. They're both down. Game 3 goes to USM. What a match this was. It's such an upset because USA was just about to come back.
Wow.
Looks like they're taking their time with this one. They want to get their kill. No,
wow.
They end it now. What an upsetting defeat for USA.
Yeah, I've seen a defeat like this before against USA. They came back, nearly coming back and winning the game, and they just couldn't close it out quite.
They couldn't close it out.
Yeah,
Bel'Veth, they greeted for the Dragon because they knew Soul would be so good on them.
Yeah.
I probably would have done the same thing, to be honest. I don't blame them for that, but
yeah,
they did not anticipate the Xayah and Sylas destroying their mid lane.
Yeah.
Someone should have been back defending that while they were going for the drag.
Yeah, just one misplay is all it took at that point in the game for the game.
It happened again. No one was there to defend.
Yeah, one small misplay and that's it, basically. Game over.
Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Victory goes to USM. And what a fantastic series this was.
Yeah, that was a fantastic final game as well. A lot of big things happening throughout this series. We had a pentakill from Hecarim on USA's side. Massive play there. They really dominated the first game there, but they couldn't close it out in the final game. I fully expected the tankiness from... I did not see the Karma pick there, really. I did not see that working, but it ended up working in their favor.
It did work in their favor.
Yeah.
And I like to mention, despite all the mistakes that USM made, they were able to just backdoor the tower. That was basically just on cue for what happened first game.
Yeah, exactly. And that was
go ahead.
Yeah, it was an amazing play from USM to pull that off. They tricked them there because they knew USA had the advantage, and while South would kind of waste their time a little bit trying to go for a Drake that they couldn't get, USM decided we're not going to make the same mistake. We're going to just shove up mid right now and go for the end. And if they don't respond, then we can get the Drake. Well, Bel'Veth tries to stay behind, but that would end up being a mistake. They should have just let the Drake go, right?
They should have let the Drake go.
They had 3 of the Drakes, so just one soul, they can deal with it, right? They can deal with it.
Malphite could have easily defended the turrets, but it looks like they didn't anticipate that.
Yeah, and then Bel'Veth got caught out alone, and then they just went for the end.
Yeah, Akali should. Another thing to mention, Akali went in with the teleport, but I think that was just simply the flex. But that flex really did become detrimental for the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, it was a fantastic series, everybody. Unfortunately, USA did lose this game, lose the series, but we'll see in the future.
Got a pentakill.
We got a pentakill, though, so it was worth it. So
win in our book.
Win in our book because it got a pentakill. All right. Well, a fantastic series. Those were really exciting games. Looks like that's going to be it for today. So make sure to tune in. I think it'll be the next game is Wednesday, I believe. The next game will be Wednesday, so be ready for that, everyone. In that case, we will see you all guys later.
See you later.